Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Who's worse than a vegetarian? Who's not a good not to be something you wish. I don't got it and jump on a fish. Fried burger.
This devolved really fast.
It's wait, so it goes porous and yellow and what?
Absorbent and
Yellow and porous is he.
Absorbent, yellow, and porous is okay.
Yes.
My bad. That's my fault.
How dare you not know?
SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants. We're live with the stream in case anybody didn't know.
I see so.
Stream Elements bot running Pajal.
I have no idea what that
Hello,
means.
Moto. How you doing, my friend? Thank you for being the first person to message us in chat. Oh, you need to turn all the alerts in chat back on. Because I disabled all of that.
Oh,
So
dang.
I disabled the folder. So just enable the folder. That should be
You
it.
can do it.
I don't see nothing.
But it'll pop up. Just give it a second. It has to load in because it's a web page.
Ah, sweet.
Good morning, my dudes. Hey, Ace. Hey.
Morning.
Morning.
We got.
I always forget that we start at 11.
Yeah.
And so it's still technically
It's
morning.
still morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Top of the hour.
I'm having some coffee.
I'm having some water.
Morning coffee.
I forgot my glasses again.
Again.
Again. Forget again.
Are you just not wearing them at home, or?
I don't.
So then you don't think to like actually.
They're
put
on my
them
bedside, and so like I've been not wearing them in the morning, and then I don't come to work with them, so that makes it weird. Moto Ciclix, you're good. That's good to hear. Nickeloni, how you doing? The Nightbot, welcome.
Welcome.
We're gonna play Getting Older Over It like in the old days. No,
I remember those days. That game looked horrible.
I don't like it. Hey man, I haven't heard from you in a while. Hope everything is going well with your son. What do you mean, Dre man? We've been online for like the past 2-3 weeks. We've been streaming straight, but he's not doing well. Thanks for asking though.
Good morning,
Axis Tech, how you
Axis
doing?
Tech.
I want a mug like that. Type ! merch into the chat and you'll be able to find a link for buying one of these.
They're
We have
really
a hot
dope.
news mug.
UFD Tech hot news mugs.
Hot news.
Dude, social distancing. Reese is my immediate family because I took him from his family.
That's how this works.
So, you know, I'm not going to stop hugging my wife. So I'm not going to stop massaging Reese either.
We've been basically quarantined within here, social distanced.
What?
What?
Where did this come
It
from?
was on your back.
Oh, lovely.
Brett's blind. Quick write profanity in the chat. He can't see. My glasses are blue light filtering glasses. They have nothing to do with my eyesight. It has to do with like my eye fatigue at the end of the day.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What you said? What?
What was that thing?
What thing?
Oh, it was like a weird.
I saw it was just like.
It was just
a
string.
thread.
Yeah, it
It's
was
probably
a,
from another piece of
I
clothing.
couldn't
Yeah, probably.
See on the stream though, it looked weird. It looked like a worm.
Morning, cool gamer and Dookie Beast. Sorry to hear about
Welcome,
that,
welcome.
and my hopes and prayers are with you and your family. Thank you, my friend Dreman, or Dreamin, Jerman22. Thank you.
If this is your first time joining us since we've been back, then welcome.
Yes.
It's good to have you back.
John O'Lags, haven't seen you in a while. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
We're gonna be diving on into the hot news soon, but not until we first do the existential question of the day.
Boop, boop. Get ready.
Scoopity poop, I'm ready, baby.
Prophecy is true.
Existential question of the day: is water wet? Discuss. Huh? Is water wet? We do stream every day, John O'Legs, but you need to answer: is water wet? Or does water make things wet? Because if water makes things wet, water is always in the presence of water, which means water is wet. Is blood bloody? Is water wet? It's moist.
It's wet.
But is it?
We should have had this up for yesterday for your Reese's Corner. by
Oh
the way.
yeah, the
Just saying.
synthwave stuff.
Water is moist, ooh.
Ooh,
Yes, no, it's dry. It depends on the state. Water is the state of liquid H2O.
You don't refer to it as
I don't.
hard water.
Yeah, hard water means that it has a lot of stuff in it, not that it's solid.
Yeah.
It's moist. Moist is appropriate.
Yeah, like that's the whole argument behind this thing is water wet, or does the presence of water make things wet? But then you can do the argument that water in the presence of water is making itself wet, therefore it is, yet
No.
it's weird.
Your science is whack.
Water isn't wet by itself, but it makes other materials wet when it sticks to the surface of them. So by that argument, is blood not bloody because it's not on something?
What?
Bloody is the adjective of blood being present on something, right?
But blood is wet.
Is blood bloody?
Yes.
Then water is wet.
Yes.
Is urine wet? Depends on whether it's in pee form or urine crystal form, which I found out from a plumber. Urine crystals in your piping is a real thing.
Or is wet only the way you used to describe its feeling? So it's only wet if you touch it, but if you don't touch it, is it wet?
If you don't touch water, is it wet?
How
If
do
a
you
tree
know?
falls in the woods, does a bear poop?
Because you use wet to describe
Huh.
a feeling. So if you don't touch it,
Is being wet a feeling or a state?
Is our language coming in the way of true science?
Is math related to science? You guys don't sound smart. You realize that's because all of the existential questions aren't deep philosophical questions, right?
I think a lot of people are getting that side of things.
The whole point is that it's supposed to be lighthearted and a little stupid.
If you're taking it too seriously, my dudes,
Drink some urine crystals.
bottoms up.
It
Cheers,
helps to
I'll drink
relieve
to that.
stress.
careful children, that's a lot of sodium.
Ma'am, please do not restrict my sodium intake. All right, we need a straw poll to figure out if water's wet. I'm gonna make that right now.
Do it.
Once we have the answer, then we will be able to move on into the actual hot news today.
We need some solid, concrete proof.
Hey, no, water. It's not a solid. I want you to shut your mouth.
We need some liquid.
Ma'am.
Is liquid concrete still a thing?
Yes,
Liquid
that's how you
concrete-
pour it.
Shh. We need liquid concrete proof whether water is wet or not.
And that is decided by democratic voting.
Yes, that's how this works.
If
That
you-
is how all modern solutions work.
Are you wet, or do you just feel wet?
What if feeling wet is a state of mind?
What if are bones wet?
I'm
Are your bones wet or are they bony?
with whole MD90. Water is perpetually self-wetting.
I like that.
Ah! I don't like the idea of self-wetting, to be quite honest with you. It's not my cup of moisture.
DRZ revolution. Did we create math or did we discover it?
That's not that good of a question.
It is.
No, stop. Sorry, I'm gonna vote no on that one. Why won't my chat show up on YouTube?
Why?
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 Why? Is math related to science? There we go. Now I have it
There we go. There's the straw poll.
on Twitch. All right, vote in the straw poll. Is water wet? Yay or nay? Let us know. It's
We
in the
need-
chat for y'all.
We need the definitive answer here.
Well, friends, ACS Create, welcome. You've come at an important time, a time of critical urgency. Just like GameStop is an essential business, existential questions are existential.
I question my existence.
Every day.
Corona. Don't be mean to Reese's guy. He shouldn't be so peanut buttery.
What?
We should have put the Reese's man on the set.
No, that just deserves to be in Reese's life.
I'll keep him hidden in my
Keep
my
him hidden.
clothes chamber.
We can bring him out for Reese's Corner.
We can do that.
We can bring him out for
Okay.
Reese's Corner.
A little mascot.
Yes.
Officially unofficial.
Okay. Everybody, make sure you get your existential votes in. The votes are looking pretty intriguing, Catlin. If you want to switch over to our, looks like according to most people, water is wet. You need to turn the stream interactives back on this side and then move the camera back to the other side. Just press the and now it's over our face, so you gotta move the camera back over. It's all broken. How could you do this?
How could this happen to me?
We move so quickly. There we go. The date on the calendar is wrong. No, you're wrong. That date is accurate.
It's a very important date.
It's not calendar date telling. This is not supposed to inform you of the day it is currently. It's supposed to inform you of the day.
It's a memorial.
It is a memorial.
To one of the best dates on the calendar. Figure it out.
Okay, most people agree that water is wet. 62%.
That's it. It's finalized.
It's finalized. Water is wet.
There it is. Water is wet. Existential question. It doesn't need to exist anymore.
If you voted no, you're on the wrong side of history.
Reese is not wrong. Okay, so with Hot News, we have been doing a little thing where we have our tech video of the day, which I explained yesterday. It's basically for smaller creators. We're going to be trying to promote them a little bit more here on Hot News, and that means that we're looking for creators with under 100,000 subscribers with good tech videos, and it has to be released in the last couple of days. So with that being said, let's go ahead and show you the creator or the tech video of the day today, which is a mini ITX case review from Gear Seekers. They did this one 2 days ago when the Era from Fractal Design launched. It's the Era review by them. I'm going to drop this in the chat so that you guys can check it out. And it's the tech video of the day. They have gorgeous B-roll. They have good results on everything. Ads. They also have ads. That's a thing. You got to support creators somehow, and that's the whole point of giving them a shout out so that they can, get all that. Look at those clean shots. Sexy B-roll. It's gorgeous. They currently have just under 60,000 subscribers, but they do good work. So you should check them out for sure.
Get you some Gear Seekers in your life.
Yes, indeed. So I'm going to drop the link to their video in the chat. You guys should check them out and make sure that you give them some love. Let them know that UFD Tech sent you. Yeah, I'm not going to ad block a creator that I'm trying to support so that I can financially support them through these hard times. Also, content creator, I would want to, what?
Yeah.
I make money off of ads, so I don't want to ad. The only time I ever use ad block is when I'm capturing a website to put it on Hot News, so that the ad block, you don't see the ads when I'm showing the articles. Our editor doesn't do that though, so there's that. Got to support creators, skips ads. You don't have to watch the ad in order for the creators to be supported, right?
Yeah. As long as the ads are there and people are receiving them.
Do you guys get paid for skipped ads? Do TV networks get paid for ads that people get up and leave while they're on their couch?
Yes, indeed, we do. Feed your local YouTuber.
Feed them. Feed our mouths. Cram our maws.
Right.
Hello, Corona people. Wow, that's not nice. Rude. Okay. Well, let's get into the hot news topic of the day, which is ray tracing for everybody. Everybody gets ray tracing.
It's what we needed.
But that's actually not the first articles that we're going to be discussing, because we're going to be talking about the fact that Microsoft has updated DirectX to be DirectX 12 Ultimate, which their logo, let's just go ahead and take a look at this logo. Is that not the Disney XD font?
100%.
Right? This looks like a Disney XD promotion and not necessarily a DirectX platform for ray tracing.
Who approved this?
I don't know who approved it, but it definitely gave me some old school vibes.
No, 100%. You look at that and you can't not see Disney XD.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Anyways, DirectX 12 Ultimate, the reason they're calling it Ultimate is because Microsoft promised that DirectX 12 was going to be the last DirectX. So they're not updating it anymore to DirectX 13 because they made a promise, so they're just being funky with it and calling it DirectX 12 Ultimate.
This
for
is
whatever
weird.
reason. It is weird. Anyways.
Why don't they just name it by year? DirectX 20.
Because there's not always an update every year.
fair, but
Yeah,
at
and
the same time, this
if we're talking about how Microsoft updates things, it's not like in a way that makes any sense. Matthew Rosado with 461 feed. You crammed on Moz. Thank you.
we shall not starve today.
Thank you so much, my friend. Okay, switch on back over to the DirectX 12 Ultimate. It's got a logo. It's not a new API, but it does support new ray tracing features such as mesh shaders, variable rate shading, sampler feedback, and hardware acceleration for the DXR API. As far as I'm aware, I don't know if there's a specific release date. It might just be out at this point. But the logo looks terrible. And obviously, with all of these features, NVIDIA's had them since 2018 with the launch of the RTX cards. So that was basically NVIDIA's response, was just like, hey, if you buy our stuff, we already have support for this brand new API, so play it. And then AMD came out with talking about how RDNA 2 is going to be able to support DirectX 12 Ultimate because their current GPUs don't have any hardware accelerated ray tracing whatsoever. They're just normal graphics cards. But they also released it with this really weird teaser video, and I don't like it, and we can watch it, but it looks really campy and cheesy and bad. I don't like this video.
It seems weird so far.
I think my laptop's lagging for some reason. Hold on.
So shiny.
No, that's just the ray tracing.
No, it's not. I watched it this morning. I think my laptop's lagging. I have like 25 tabs open.
So shiny.
Poor little laptop.
I'm just talking about like the scene doesn't make very much sense. The ray tracing isn't very good. The fluid motion on the robots is kind of weird. Like this seems like a very weird demo to show off your ray tracing on your new card.
I hate how shiny everything is, but it's like the type of environment they created for this. It's
Yeah.
just supposed to be like this.
What is going on with my laptop? Like
Extra shiny.
reloading the resolution.
I guess they just want to show you every possible angle,
And-
every
yeah.
single reflection. Every
That's the idea. And like a spaceship comes in behind him right now, and you like see it's coming in, and you can only see it because it's coming in on the reflection. So you have
Yeah.
a good idea. Okay, it's not this laggy. The video's not this bad. I'm just talking about the actual campiness of the freaking video.
Seriously though,
Yeah.
Microsoft needs to work on their branding as a whole.
No, this is AMD's issue. They
I
can't.
know, but I'm talking about that little.
Are you back on the DX12 Ultimate?
It bugs me. It's
Okay.
sitting in the corner.
Okay, I don't like that, but it exists. DirectX 12 Ultimate, but this we're talking about ray tracing for everyone. DirectX 12 Ultimate only brings ray tracing to the cards that have hardware acceleration baked in, and that is not every card. I think ray tracing might be good, but I think we're all distracted by the Chrome. I think if they had a demo with an actual game that supports it, that would be best. But except you can't do that because then you're showing something that you couldn't actually have. No game and no graphics card on the face of the planet can support full ray tracing in the entire game because it takes too much computational energy. Even the RTX 2080 Ti cannot fully ray trace a game unless it's from way back when, which is why we have Quake 2 RTX, which is actually fully path traced. But when you're talking about like modern implementations, Shadow of the Tomb Raider was ray traced reflections. A lot of it's just global illumination. It's the actual light sources, but not reflections or shadows. I think Battlefield 5's ray tracing implementation was only in the shadows. And so there's weird ways that they're implementing ray tracing, and the only way to show off everything it can do is by having Chrome and all of that kind of stuff and making it out like a scene like that. But the issue is you can't put that with a real game because the real game would never look like that because you couldn't render it in real time at 60 FPS.
Yeah.
So that's why they're not showing real games. This is pre-rendered. They're not showing this running live in real time. So Battlefield 5 is reflections too. Great, but it's not global illumination. It's not everything ray traced. It's only partial ray tracing. Every game, as far as I'm aware of, that's modern, that has a ray tracing implementation, is partial, not a full implementation because the hardware's still just not there yet.
I think this is a step forward in general to getting ray tracing mass adoption.
Yeah, we have to start with hardware accelerated ray tracing. That's the only way to bring it out and to make it better.
Yeah.
They had to start. They had to.
Most starts of anything suck. So
Yeah.
we had a couple of years of that.
It's just hard to connect with random Chrome robot world. NVIDIA had a Chrome robot, and he had more personality. It was like dancing and stuff. This guy's just like going to a weird command center and walking funny. I don't know. It's not very good. It's weird, but it doesn't bring ray tracing to everybody because not every card has hardware accelerated ray tracing, which is go away, NVIDIA guy. Which is where Vulkan comes in because the Vulkan API has now been officially updated to support ray tracing. It's the industry's first open, cross-vendor, and cross-platform ray tracing standard. So this applies for not only NVIDIA cards with RTX, but it also applies for current and previous AMD cards, and, surprise, surprise, Intel. Intel integrated graphics can run the ray tracing that is brought to you by Vulkan.
Not that you would want to.
Yes, so the first beta developer drivers are shipping today. It's a coherent ray tracing framework seamlessly integrated into existing Vulkan functionality, flexible merging of rasterization and ray tracing, familiar to users of existing proprietary ray tracing APIs, but also introduces new implementation flexibility. It's hardware agnostic. It can be accelerated on existing GPU compute and dedicated ray tracing cores. So this will run faster on an RTX card.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that your AMD peasantry won't be supported.
They got you.
They got you, fam. If you want to ray trace on your AMD cards, Vulkan's the way of the future. Which, this would have been a cool coincidence with, or coincidence with Doom Eternal launching, since it's actually one of the big Vulkan games.
Yeah.
The original one in 2016 was a very big Vulkan game. But id Software came out and said that they are not focusing on ray tracing for the current games just because they couldn't get it running as well as they would want.
They want to hit that 1000 FPS target.
Yes.
They can't have ray tracing.
Yeah, so ray tracing for everybody. It's a thing. If you want it, come and get it. Enjoy it. Eat it. Suckle on it. With your eyeballs.
Yes.
NTech1, $5 dono. Thank you, my friend. Said, so I just bought an AMD RX 5700 XT Sapphire Pulse. Should I have waited, or will the 5700 XT have ray tracing coming? So with the Vulkan API, you will be able to do ray tracing. It just won't be as fast as the RTX cards or AMD's upcoming RDNA 2 cards, which will have hardware accelerated ray tracing. As far as should you have waited, one, we're going to talk about a news article today that might indicate that the next gen GPUs are going to be a little ways off. And then two, that's a matter of personal choice, and it also depends on how much you spent on the 5700 XT. But you will be able to do hardware ray tracing. There was a Vulkan API demo of ray tracing with Vega cards way back when from Crytek, and that showed that the Vega 56 could run ray tracing. So the new Navi cards can do it. It's not going to be great. It's going to be limited in scope, but we also showed in a previous video how we could do path trace global illumination on Minecraft, with the 5700 XT and a Vega or RX 580. I think we also used in that video.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. B Miller, how you doing, my friend? Will a Crossfire hack come to 5700 or XT in the near future? I doubt it. The only Crossfire you're going to be able to do is explicit multi-adapter that goes through the DirectX 12 API. So you can combine two together, but only in certain DX12 games. So
I just don't think aiming for Crossfire anything is really a good investment these days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Crytek Noir CryEngine-based real-time ray tracing 4K demo. That's what I was talking about. If you like visuals, ray tracing is nice, but performance it is dumb. Yeah, so it's, I mean, some people just want the best visuals because they want to be immersed in the world. Other people want to make sure it's running at 180 FPS so that they have the best input. I'm probably a mix of both. I don't want it under 60, but at the same time, like, I'm willing to, like, drop from 100 down to 60 if that means that the game's going to look tremendously better. Yeah. Ramon with €5. Woo. AMD is better with drivers in Linux/Mac. NVIDIA is better with drivers in Windows. That is my opinion. All have issues, though. Nothing is perfect. Of course AMD has better Mac drivers. Excuse me, when was the last time that NVIDIA was supported on Mac?
2010, 2011?
Like, you can't even use external GPUs on Mac without, like, going through some rigmarole to get it done. And, like, Linus has showed videos of Hackintoshes running NVIDIA cards with that, but you have to go, like, in a super roundabout fashion. So, yes, obviously AMD is going to have the better drivers on Mac because NVIDIA doesn't care about Mac because Apple did away with them. So there's that. As far as Linux, I'm not too sure about that. I've heard variable reports on that depending on which Linux distro you're using. And
I don't know enough about Linux to actually.
yeah, and obviously there's tons of reports coming out about AMD's drivers being borked on Windows, but then there's also people who equally complain about NVIDIA's drivers. So a lot of the reports are just anecdotal, and you have to figure it out for yourself. So buy whatever card you want and enjoy it.
I mean, with the hodgepodge of systems that all PCs are made out of, there's bound to have some issues somewhere, some incompatibility somewhere arising from these parts being used together. So it's
super complicated.
Yeah, it's harder than just, getting drivers right for a closed system.
You know what makes me mad?
What?
You know what makes me livid?
What?
You know what rustles my jimmies probably more than anything else right now? Do you know what curdles my goat milk?
Tell me.
Do you want to know what infuriates my dinglehopper? Do you? It's this next article. GameStop tells their employees that the company is essential and can stay open during the current lockdowns because of the coronavirus and the pandemic.
Of course.
They are essential.
Are they now?
They are completely essential. They can stay open during lockdowns. This is coming out of an official report of freaking their memos. It got leaked from a memo saying, thank you for what you're doing to keep all of us safe. If you have any questions about our store hours, call these people, because they're telling everybody if law enforcement officers come to your store and try to shut you down, you tell them, 1, we're an essential retail business, 2, contact corporate and call the lawyers.
This just makes no sense in my mind.
This is so stupid. It's so bad. And when some news publications contacted GameStop to figure out what the heck is going on, why do you say you're essential retail, they did end up giving a response. So GameStop provided a statement to Ars Technica saying that, quote, oh, tier 1 sub from Halo. Thank you so much, my friend. Apparently I've been subscribed to you for 3 months, so yay. Thank you, Halo. Much appreciated. Appreciate your Twitch Primes or your Twitch subs. So this is what GameStop said to Ars Technica. While GameStop is best known as a provider of gaming and home entertainment systems, what other home entertainment systems do they sell besides gaming systems? We also offer a wide array of products and devices that are important to facilitate remote work, distance learning, and virtual connectivity.
What are they?
What things do you sell that facilitate remote work, distance learning, and virtual connectivity? What? They don't sell PCs. They don't sell laptops, as far as I'm aware. I've been in the local GameStop dozens of times, and the only thing they sell is games, gaming systems, and merch. They don't have anything for remote work. They're not selling Wi-Fi hotspots. I haven't seen a single tablet at these places.
So yeah, what are you doing?
What essential device do they sell that could possibly facilitate remote work? None. They do cell phone trade-ins. I guess that could potentially happen, but I'm pretty sure cell phone retail stores are shutting down too.
Where are you supposed to get your pops that will keep you calm during lockdown?
Where am I supposed to get my GameStop exclusive pops to keep me happy during my quarantine? Where? This is a Persona 5 exclusive GameStop pop. Oh man, I can't work from home without this thing. This makes them essential retail. It's ridiculous. They probably have an Xbox Live webcam on a shelf somewhere. Can connect you to the rest of the world.
That's how this works.
New smartphones and tablets. I haven't seen any new smartphones and tablets at our local GameStop. They're still open.
There's 3 here, and I haven't seen a single phone or anything.
I've seen all of the signs saying that they take cell phone trade-ins, but
Yes.
I've never seen a single one on sale. It's ridiculous. So they've continued on in their response to Ars Technica, saying while there are many businesses and organizations far more critical than ours,
You don't say.
you think? We believe we can have a positive impact during this very challenging time. And then continuing to say, we are complying with all state, county, city, and local ordinances, and we will continue to adjust to any future developments. The thing that pisses me off the most is we believe we can have a positive impact during this challenging time. That's basically all retail stores. We go to them because we enjoy these things. Of course you're going to have a positive impact. That's what you exist for, is to make people feel good. You're not a retail store that sells depression. This doesn't make any sense. That's like the most ridiculous statement. We exist to make our customers feel good during this time. Yeah, okay. Well, what did you think about doing that like 2 weeks ago when there wasn't a pandemic going on? Huh? Why didn't you be a good experience back then? But what part of GameStop's business makes them an essential business?
Because I totally can't just buy games online.
We are powerless if we can't buy physical copies of video games. I don't know how I'll play a game without a disc.
It's those data caps that tell you.
Is the CD-ROM still around? Because I'm not sure how to play a game.
Are you sure?
No!
We're all doomed.
Holy crap. Halo
Whoa.
gifted 5 tier 1 subs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you, Halo, for the Twitch subs. Dang!
Yo.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Really appreciate it. Okay, so obviously all of this GameStop ridiculousness is just that. It's sheer ridiculousness. It doesn't make any sense. GameStop cannot be considered in any way, shape, or form an essential retail activity during a pandemic. Okay? If we're not keeping open hair salons, which actually help people to look presentable, why the hell are we keeping open a GameStop? That doesn't make any sense. So, the reason, this is conspiracy time, obviously, but it's not without warrant, obviously.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is the fact that if GameStop has to shut down its stores, GameStop is shutting down for good.
They won't be able to open up
They
again.
won't be able to open it up again because their debts are too massive, their revenue is too low. They literally can't keep going if they have to shutter their stores.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, and this is obviously terrible PR for GameStop. Besides the fact that they rip people off for like their video game trade-ins, that's just kind of the model that's always been there for video game stuff. They were doing well at the top of their game while also ripping people off. That's not exactly what's the worst part about GameStop. The worst part about GameStop is the amount of pressure and the garbage crap that they're doing to their employees, their managers, everybody that's working for GameStop, and the pressure to put on them to say, hey, if you live in a city or a county where they have a shutdown quarantine where we're not allowed to be here unless we're in essential retail, you, store manager, have to confront the police.
I'd rather quit.
You have to confront the police and make sure that they contact us, okay? You do that. And then on top of that, you know how you're dealing with the public all of the time and they're handing you their video games or their cell phones, which they just coughed on the way in, they picked their nose, they rubbed it on top of there, and then they handed it to you. You still have to physically take that. Oh, you want gloves while there's a coronavirus pandemic going on? Would you like gloves during this time? Oh, I'm sorry, gloves are sold out. We can't get any to you. Maybe you should buy some yourself and bring them into the store.
Do it yourselves.
No, you're not allowed to stop accepting trade-ins. So you still have to do it even if you don't have gloves or proper sanitization stuff, because we can't get that to you. But because we need that to continue our business, you have to bring those things in. So you're not allowed to refuse any sort of our original business model.
You're not even allowed to shut down the interactive gaming systems where hundreds of people are going to touch.
Yep. Not allowed to do that. If you turn them off, you better turn them back on. It's not okay. This is what GameStop is saying to their actual employees. And there was a YouTuber, Camelot331, who snuck in to a GameStop regional conference call and basically confirmed everything that's going on. GameStop is literally asking their employees to put their health on the line and their life on the line for GameStop's business to stay open. And on top of that, when GameStop executives were asked by the managers, hey, if we have to shut down because of the quarantine, if we are not able to open our stores, not because we're shutting it down, but because the government finally makes us do it, are we still getting paid? To which their response was, we don't know.
Taking it day at a time.
Yeah. Or talking about how if people have to self-isolate in a quarantine because they've been in contact with other people who have the coronavirus, the GameStop executive phrased it as, well, when they choose to not come to work, they don't get paid. How are they choosing to not come to work because they have a pandemic virus that they could get actual legal trouble for actually going out when they know that they have something about it?
This is boggling my mind.
It's so bad.
How are you this disconnected from what's going on?
And like the only thing that GameStop would have had to do in this season at the very beginning, before everything. Thank you everybody for following us on Twitch. We're not high-fiving that, we're waving and saying thank you for following us on Twitch.
I was totally going for a high five.
The only thing GameStop would have had to do is say, hey, we can't afford to shut our doors. So gamers, would you please consider buying some games online from us? We'll ship them to you. We need to keep the operations going during this time. Will you financially support us by buying online physical copies right now, because we don't know how we're going to make it through this next stage? That would be a moment of honesty and humility out of GameStop. It would show that they care about their employees. They say that, look, we're going to shut our stores. We're going to give everybody paid time off for the time that they're missing. We're not going to take it out. Like, do the honorable company thing during a pandemic. Close down your business, pay the people the same wages, and make sure they're safe. And just say, hey, because we're doing this, we're going to need a little bit of extra support from you guys. And either one of two things are going to happen. GameStop is going to see the gamers support them, which probably isn't the likely scenario because they've been turd bags for the entire past decade. Or secondly, they still have to close down. They still have to declare bankruptcy, but they do so with a graceful ending. But instead, what we have is GameStop trying to fight to keep their stores alive by being irresponsible jackwagons and putting their employees on the line, forcing them to pay with their lives, potentially in some of these instances. Because they're working retail, because they're in contact with the general public, they might get the virus, they might die because of this, and GameStop's response is, we're taking it day by day, we don't know if we can pay you, and if they try to shut you down, you tell them to call the GameStop lawyers because you will not close your store. That is absolutely ridiculous. It tarnishes what was left, what shred of credibility GameStop had left. They brought Reggie onto the board of directors, and we, a couple days ago, were just like, yes, okay, GameStop might turn it around. They got Reggie. They got Reggie on the board of directors. But no, apparently Reggie's influence on the board of directors isn't enough to make GameStop stop being the leeches and cesspool of gaming in the public industry that they are. FJ5 with the €5 dono says, greetings from Germany. How you doing, my friend? You staying safe over in Germany? You good? GameStop is going bankrupt. Yep, that's basically it. Like, we've all been to a GameStop that has one person in there that you can't be sure has not showered in a week. Yeah, it exists. Deadbeat Gamer, 190 bits. Woo. Thank you so much. Wait, you live in Florida? How do you feel about those spring breakers? They're young, they're dumb, they are entitled normal Americans.
When you're that age, you feel basically
well, yeah, okay, so because they feel immortal, it's because they're that age. I remember being that young.
You thought you were invincible, basically.
Yeah. But also the interviews that happened of like, I paid for this, so I deserve to have this done. That's the American mindset. This is like what our culture is. I deserve what I paid for. Like, we have people working on our air conditioning going on this morning because the air conditioning's been busted in the office for 3 weeks. So they're here. They said they'd be here at 8. They showed up at 8:45. I got salty with them. You know why? Because as an American, I demand that the things that are being paid for are done appropriately. So if I paid for a vacation and I'm not getting a refund, by golly, am I going to have my vacation? Obviously, at this stage of my life, I'm not as irresponsible as that. I would forego the loss of money in order to not enjoy the vacation and keep the general public healthy. That's like, I have that maturity after several years and growing up and becoming a better person. They haven't had that opportunity yet. So, like, I understand them. I think it's stupid, but I also could see maybe at one point in my life, circumstances were right. I would have been that idiot.
Yeah, no, I have friends who paid tens of thousands of rands, which is like over $1,000 something for
It's like $30 now.
yeah, basically
Rand's collapsing.
For
Thanks
like-
for the follow on Twitch.
all access tickets to all the parties at Matric Rage, which is South Africa's version of Spring Break. They would have like the world could have been on fire and they still would have gone.
Yeah.
The clubs could be burnt down that they were going to and they would still go to them.
Yeah.
It's just at that age, that's kind of how you see the world.
Yeah.
I paid for this. I'm doing this.
But they're not just putting themselves at risk. I know. That's why it's a problem.
Yes.
But at the same time, I do not think that any normal American could argue this is not what our culture has bred. This is the byproduct of our consumeristic culture, the attitudes that they have of caring so much about the money that they've spent in their experiences, everybody else be damned. That is the culture that we've created here in the United States. I'm not going to talk for other countries because I don't know, but that's just the American mindset. The majority of Americans are like this. So, like, do I hold them responsible for being stupid? Yes. But can I sympathize with the fact that maybe I would have been that stupid once? Also, yes. Do I think they're wrong? Yes. Should they stop? Yes. Should they lose their money? Yes. But not considering others is an American way of life. It's just our culture. Should it be? No. But that's what it is.
That's the way it is.
That's why we're seeing so many corporations put their profits ahead of the people, because your money is the most important thing. It's the same thing. The Spring Breakers have the same mindset as GameStop, who has the same mindset as McDonald's, who has the same mindset as Tesla. Corporations are a byproduct of the people wanting to invest into the financial future that they have more than they want to invest in the society that's around them. We don't live in a society. We live in a money.
You live in the money.
We live in a money.
So yeah, this has shown, this whole like pandemic has shown a lot of true colors of a lot of places. But it's not like we didn't know those colors.
The true colors were always there. It's just that some people now are having to experience the fact that they can't do that because they have people that they care about who will potentially die. And so they're looking at they're being, honestly, in some cases, just as selfish as the Spring Breakers, but because of their life. So when I'm scared that my grandma's gonna die from the coronavirus, I'm being selfish for her life, right? But we value that type of selfishness over the selfishness of the Spring Breakers because it involves human life. But it's the same root issue of selfishness.
I think it was Evangeline Lilly or someone.
Okay.
She was trending on Twitter because like she came out with a statement saying like, this whole thing is dumb. I should be able to do what I want. I'm an American. This is the American way. And people were just like, you're not wrong, but you're not right either.
Yeah. Is it good? No, it's bad. The American culture is toxic. The American mindset is toxic in a lot of ways. There's some really great things about the American mindset. There are some really great things that have come out from it. But what we're seeing right now is the cracks in our foundation of our entire system, and it doesn't have a good look. Once people are forced to be the victims in a lot of situations, they find out that the real perpetrators were bad all along and that they actually don't like it. But the truth of the matter is, my wife and I have been talking. We've been experiencing this life ever since our son was born. Our son has a rare disease. He is still a victim of the system, even now. So all of the medical research money that was potentially going to go to his disease to potentially fix him in 5 years, now all of that's getting migrated over to coronavirus. And so our lives are being impacted by coronavirus, not right now, but in a decade from now when they don't have a cure, even though they could have had people actually considered him.
Yeah.
But nobody's considering him because the entire population's at stake, which I understand. I'm not mad at anybody for it, but that's the vulnerability that we are in. Our culture is not built on the ability to take care of those who are most vulnerable. It's not. We don't consider the needs of the vulnerable until the vulnerable are right in our face or a part of our family. Because our culture has become a mindset of taking care of you and yours. And I have a hard time. This is okay. We're off of hot news for a second. This is Brett rant time, right? I have a hard time with people who say, do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. and then get pissed at people who are doing whatever they want, even though it's not hurting anybody else right at that moment,
Yes.
because it might have future implications. It's the same exact idea. When you do whatever you want, if it doesn't hurt anybody else, that doesn't mean you're not having influence on people around you, the culture, the people who are seeing you do it. You're actually having an impact. So the idea of personal ability without cultural responsibility is such a broken concept, and then we see that as the truth when we're seeing the young kids at spring break being like, I'm gonna have individual expressivity, whatever word I'm trying to say, without societal responsibility, even though that's what we bred into them as a culture.
How dare you say they can't do something?
It's our fault. It's my fault. I do this. I got mad at the air conditioning guys. I expressed individual desire over societal responsibility. So I can understand the spring breakers who are getting what they paid for. But I wouldn't do it, but I understand them. I missed a lot of comments. I was ranting. America, we want to help everyone as long as it doesn't affect us, and all we have to do is like and share a post. My thoughts and prayers are with you. I will do nothing to address systemic injustice. Nothing. We live on a planet called capitalism, the director of the Parasite movie. I'm glad you're woke, Brett. I don't think I'm woke. I think I'm anti-woke in a lot of ways that people would say that they want me to be woke, and I'm not woke there.
Stay woke, fam.
Because even the woke people are broken. We're broken as a society, okay? Joker did not handle things properly by shooting the guy in the face.
You get what you deserve.
No, you don't! Because you're not getting what you deserve.
No one is.
Everybody gets grace and mercy from each other because we all understand that we're broken people. It's when we forget that we're broken inside that we start pointing fingers and casting blame on everybody else.
That's deep, bro.
It's the truth! What does woke mean? I do not keep up with these new meanings. It means that you, like, what does woke mean? It means that you're not individualistic, I guess? Or you're not thinking about yourself all the time?
Yeah, I'm trying to put a Urban Dictionary.
There's an explanation for it. I'm not woke. I'm the furthest thing from woke. I don't like the word. But I'm a victim and I'm a perpetrator of all the things I don't like in society as well. VC Jester says, I once set a political donation check written out for 100 thoughts and prayers. Boy, that is the best currency you can get. Is there a podcast? I don't think so, anime. I love anime and cartoon. What's up, Gabby? Get woke, go broke.
That's how we do it.
This live telecast is actually a rerun from March 9th. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Best date.
That date will forever be there.
Your eyes are open and see things as they are. That's not true. I have so many blind spots. Reese, how bad am I as a boss sometimes? Pretty bad is the answer. Pretty bad. He can't say that or else I'll deport him.
And there's your proof.
There's that. Oh my. Woke is the act of being very pretentious about how much you care about a social issue. Yes. I'm incredibly pretentious, thank you. Am I not?
Is Squidward woke?
Look at him!
He's pretty woke.
Look at how depressed he is while also being so gorgeous. Of course he's woke.
That's how this works.
But hey, if you don't believe it, let me know when you get to it so I can chuckle because I warned you. I don't know what you're saying, Max Payne. I didn't get the first part of the message. Mr. Anderson. I don't live in the Matrix, okay? But I do. I live in the Matrix so bad.
Being woke means you know you're living in the Matrix.
But if you know you're living in the Matrix, that means you can get out of the Matrix because only the people out of the Matrix know that they're in the Matrix. The people in the Matrix don't know they're in the Matrix.
We haven't broken out of the Matrix yet. I haven't personally.
Because you're waiting for...
Thanks for the follow on Twitch!
I gotta get them pills. The blue pill or the red pill?
So essentially it is just someone that is a douchebag. Thank you.
We'll just wait.
Everybody's saying I'm woke means I'm a douchebag. Woo! No, don't touch me. I don't want your
I will
coronavirus.
slap your
Oh,
bald
please.
head.
Please do.
Just, I'll save you that.
Is it smarter just to wait for RDNA 2 or get a 5700 XT now? Tone shift. It depends on the pricing of the 5700 XT. If it was 300 or less, I would pick up the 5700 XT now.
How desperate are you for a new card right now?
That's true. Do you need a new card right now? Because there's some good indications that prices could go down, and I'm going to skip ahead in the articles, and we're going to talk about this now. Something that could delay both future graphics cards from AMD and NVIDIA, as well as the consoles.
This is a pretty big one.
As long as the article can load, because right now it's a blank page. So
Oh, there we go.
here we go. Okay. Oh, you see. See, I have the ad blocker so I don't show the ads here, but okay. TSMC records first coronavirus case in their Taiwan facility. So this is the facility that's producing all of the GPUs, all of the gaming consoles, all of the Apple SoCs, everything that you would want to put in your normal daily life for tech. TSMC records its first case of somebody working there, and then on top of that, they sent 30 employees home who were in contact with that patient for a 14-day quarantine period. So, the bad news is, if TSMC goes down, consoles are not ready this year, RDNA 2 is not ready this year.
The new iPhone might not be ready this year.
Yep. Tech with a side of sarcastic realism. Yep, bring it on. 1,000 bits! Woo! Capitalism! Yeah.
Yee.
Thank you for your money, friend. Really appreciate it. Force one from Rylos. I will not support GameStop. Wreck Life. That's a good idea. Thank you for your 20 kroner. Is it kroner? I know it's spelled Kroner. But is it? I think I've heard it pronounced crown as well.
And Krona
Yeah.
is also how I've pronounced or heard
Because
pronounced.
several different countries have
Yes.
that as their currency, even though it's a different currency.
Oh, never mind then. Let us know if we
No,
got it wrong
because
or
there's
right.
like a Norwegian one, and I think there's a Danish one. I think there's several.
Possible.
Yeah, even though they're technically different currencies. I'm an idiot.
Let us know.
I took the red pill, but it turned out to be Dayquil. Czech is Swedish as well. Okay. Use your brain. I can't. I can't use my brain. You're not social distancing. That's because Reese is my immediate family. Give me a piggyback ride. Oh, jeez. Okay. Hello. I was expecting. So I do that to my kids, and they just go like that.
Would you?
They give up before I start like load bearing. So I was expecting you to just drop.
Imagine we went straight back into the TV.
No, I mean, what are you gonna do? We have to keep the economy alive somehow. Breaking TVs and buying new ones is the way to do it.
The American way.
If you had to choose between a 5700 XT and a 1080 Ti, regardless of price, what would you go for? I'd go for the 1080 Ti.
Is that your choice?
That'd be my choice. Content. I took the blue pill, but it turned out to be Viagra. Yikes. Okay, so TSMC could potentially be going down. It's had its first case in Taiwan, and obviously Taiwan has shut its borders to the rest of the world, saying, hey, we're going to contain this thing. But if Taiwan starts seeing a huge spread of the coronavirus, then it could be bad for the upcoming GPU, CPU releases that should be coming down the line later this year, and they might get delayed until 2021. So this is a rough thing. It's just the start of something. We don't want to make more of it than is already existing. It could be bad, or it could be nothing. They could be a very South Korea-like case where they test everybody. They make sure that they get everything under control. They know who's infected. They know who's not by testing everybody, and then they quarantine those who are infected and make sure that the virus dies out within their borders. So it's possible that this will mean nothing. But it's also possible, just for us to be aware, this could mean that PS5, Xbox Series X, next generation of AMD GPUs, potentially the next generation of NVIDIA GPUs, the next iPhone, current iPhones, all get delayed until 2021.
Yeah. No, it's good to see TSMC being like sort of proactive about the situation by finding out who this person had contact with, making sure all of them stay home.
Yeah.
Like they could have just been like, send this guy home, everyone else carry on work as usual.
Yeah.
Which is, it's good to see them
Which is
not,
what a lot of American companies are doing.
Yeah,
Which
so-
is very bad.
which is good to see here.
Increased pricing for the Ryzen 5 1600 AF is pissing me off. That just means it's out of stock. So if it's more than $85, that just means it's out of stock. Because it's been more than 85, and then it goes down to 85 whenever the retailer gets stock of it again. Which it could be out of stock for a while, obviously because of supply chain disruption and because Amazon said that they're not going to be bringing in non-essential goods to their warehouse. So You just have to kind of watch out for that. YouTube censorship at full swing. My chat is not refreshing anymore, but I can see new messages in stream. Why would you say it's YouTube censorship and not assume it's a technical issue?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like censorship.
That
to
sounds
me.
like you're looking for problems. That's not woke.
That's
Come on, man.
anti-woke.
That's
fam.
anti-woke. Is water cooling worth it for noise reduction? It depends on how much you value noise reduction, but I
Yeah.
will tell you that you're adding in the noise of a pump.
Yeah, the drone from that.
Yeah, you're adding in the noise of a pump, which can be significant in certain pump instances, and then you're typically adding in more fans than you would for just regular air cooling because you have to cool the radiator down. So water cooling might actually increase your noise floor. You'd have to really look at making sure you're getting the proper you're getting the proper parts. However, with the proper parts, it can be very quiet because the temperatures are cooler. It's not under load or the heat's output's not as bad, so you're not trying to dissipate as much ambient heat.
So your case airflow could also play a big role in that.
Yeah.
If you're looking still at air cooling, the Noctua fans are still really, really quiet. They have that one low power mode, and
Does China own you? They got half of my lower left thigh. So
is that what's wrong?
yeah.
Rough.
So just a part.
Just a part.
Yeah, just a little bit. Also, when you asked for water cooling, I thought it was I automatically assumed custom, not AIO, which might be my fault. You may have meant AIO, and AIOs are typically pretty quiet.
Yeah.
The Asetek pumps are pretty good
Yeah,
usually.
self-enclosed.
Yeah. Just don't do glass tubing like I did for my first water cooling build. Eesh.
Yeah.
Do you guys have an in-depth video on overclocking? The only in-depth video we have on overclocking is how not to do it.
That was fun.
It was fun, and it performed way better than I ever thought it was going to.
We set a motherboard on fire.
We did, just for the thumbnail.
That was fun.
It was. It was.
Brett was standing there and like I had the camera in burst mode, and then he like lit it on fire and he's like ah, and I'm like standing there snapping photos.
So we did end up killing the motherboard through overclocking, so it was dead. And then we just put lighter fluid on it, lit it up, and then had a motherboard on fire for the thumbnail, which we could have done in post. But then where's the creative integrity?
Exactly.
Absolute mad lad.
Here at UFD Tech, we actually light stuff on fire.
Thanks for the follow on Twitch.
Hey.
Rec Life says, struggling to speak. My lungs are ruined for now. Confirmed case 1.5 weeks in from Norway. We have stopped testing, so no result before antibody test. Please pray for me. I have support obligations. Rec Life, I'm so sorry, my friend. I hope you're gonna get better soon. Thank you for tuning in to the stream. Hopefully, let's get back into some tech news to distract you from everything that's
Hopefully
going on.
we can keep you guys entertained while
Let's
you're on lockdown.
move into the tech news, but my articles aren't loading. So another big thing is that Intel had their GDC announcement come out, and they talked about explicit multi-adapter GPU combining. So this is basically taking one GPU, taking another GPU, and saying, hey, you are now sexually compatible. So that's what happens when you use DX12 and other APIs to make this happen. Intel did that with integrated graphics plus a discrete graphics card. So this is in preparation for Intel's discrete lineup coming out probably sometime later this year if everything stays on track. So they used a UHD 630 in this demo with an RX 480, and they found out, yes, Intel and AMD graphics are sexually compatible. They can produce an offspring, which is known as higher frame rate.
Good stuff to know.
Okay.
William King with a $5 dono. Woo! Hey, keep up the good work. I'm trying to start a one-armed YouTube gaming channel where I only use the mouse and keyboard since I don't have my left arm.
That's interesting.
Wow, nice. You're saying you're trying to start. Have you started it yet, or are you still like working out the plan for that? Because I do think you might also want to consider streaming, because that could be like, I do feel like Let's Plays of video game stuff is a weird like area right now.
It's hard to get started in that, but streaming is easier. to
Yeah, there's a
jump
lot
into.
more area for you to be up and coming in streaming, and if you're, defining factor is the fact that you do everything one-armed and one-handed, then you could probably have some like standoutedness to you.
Yeah.
On Mixer, Twitch, or one of the other streaming sites. You could potentially do it on YouTube, but thank you so much for the donut, my friend. Okay, so Yes, Intel AMD sexually compatible graphics cards producing the offspring that is known as higher frame rate. They had a whole video talking about how this is possible with a dude in front of a green screen that is supposed to be like an apartment or something. I don't know.
That looks weird.
It is a little weird, but it's good to know that they can make babies, frame babies. And then let's go ahead and talk about the Intel i9-10900KF or 10900KF, depending on how you want to say it, because you know.
Every time you say that, it makes me think of chicken tenders.
That's why I say it, because it's ridiculous. So there's a benchmark of the 10900KF in what game was it, or benchmark was it? Was it Firestrike? Time Spy, excuse me, Time Spy. These are the physics results of Time Spy and the i9-10900KF. So with 2400 megahertz RAM, it got 12,412 with 2666. The K got higher than the 3900X, but with the fastest RAM speed, the 3900X still beats the 10900K. However, the thing to note about this is that the 3900X has 2 more cores. So if it's beating the 10900K, that makes sense. But if the 10900K can come in and be close to the 3900X, that means that Intel's IPC and clock speed is good enough to match AMD's advantage with cores, which is a good thing. So then it just comes down to pricing. The single core performance of the 10900K is faster than AMD's Zen 2 lineup, so we just have to find out what's the pricing going to be, because if this is over $500, it's not worth it, because you can pick up a 3900X for $420 right now.
$420.
I'm sure if you buy it right now, you'll have it by $420. It's the thing.
Well, a whole month's gonna be $420.
Any news on DDR5 DIMMs? I don't think so. The last information I've heard on DDR5 is the fact that it's it's being heavily tested, and there's been like some previous benchmarks. We covered it in a hot news a while ago, and that there's like successful testing. It's about 35 to 50% faster than current DDR4, which is good. Everybody, thank you so much for the follows on Twitch. We're getting a lot of follows on Twitch.
I've been watching it. It's crazy.
Yeah. What's woke AF, Reese? What did you say that was woke?
The entire month is gonna be $420.
Oh, I just realized that too. I was today years old when I learned. Okay, so that's it's the 10900KF. Pricing is going to come down to it for Intel, as it always does. So make of that what you will. Bam. Now let's talk about this. Intel has the largest neuromorphic research system in the world, because it has the only neuromorphic research system in the world, because
Really?
they're the only, well, because they call their chips neuromorphic. It's like a thing that they, just like they have the only hyper-threaded chips in the world, because hyper-threading is a brand name by them. Anyways, they're saying that this neuromorphic server that they've set up contains 100 million neurons. It's a big brain. This is Intel big brain time. We need to have a zoom in that gives me a big brain.
Can we do that bubble effect?
I don't know. You
They
need
might
to
be filters.
You're the stream operator. Don't ask me the questions. You do it.
Okay, fine.
Oh my gosh, I can't do your job for you while I'm doing my job for me.
Big brain time.
Big brain time.
I just asked a question.
You asked. You're right. You just asked a question. Ah. Is there any information on the 3080 Ti? Not more than rumors at this point. NVIDIA was probably going to announce something about the underlying architecture at GTC on Monday, but they canned that officially, so that's not happening at all. Speaking of things being canned, GDC was canned. However, it looks like they're going to try to come back to be GDC Summer in San Francisco August 3rd or August 4th through the 6th. However, obviously, this is very contingent on whether or not coronavirus is still going to be going on, going to be going down, whether or not people are still going to be infected with infection rates rising. So this is a very optimistic move by GDC to try to potentially have something going on this summer. It could falter and they don't have it, but right now they're scheduling it for a remake there. And then rumors about a new Spyro game currently being in development. This was done by a single tweet of the Gaming Revolution, who has apparently done some like successful rumors in the past that have come to light, especially with the Call of Duty franchise. Anyways, he said a new Spyro game is in the works, which leads me to ask you guys, what was your favorite Spyro game?
OG Spyro, PlayStation 1.
Which one? The first one?
Yeah.
Okay, the first one is not as good as the second one.
The second one.
Ripto's Rage.
I'm saying this because I never had Ripto's Rage.
Called Ripto's Rage?
Yeah, at least in America it was.
For us, it was called Gateway to Glimmer.
What?
Let's check if this is one of those weird.
It was not Gateway to
regional-
Glimmer in the States. Spyro to PS1. Ripto's Rage.
Okay, now go
Kevin, look.
go into the wiki.
In Europe and Australia as Gateway to Glimmer.
It's one of those weird
I had-
regional names.
I had Gateway to Glimmer.
Okay,
That's
it's
why-
it's still the same
No,
game.
it's the exact same game, but they named games differently. Like all the Ratchet and Clank games had very suggestive titles, but for us it was just Ratchet and Clank 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
They had what were their titles? I never played Ratchet and
Oh,
Clank.
I don't remember. They're like Quest for Booty, but that was a newer one. What was the original?
I've never heard of this.
It was
Ratchet and Clank.
Sonimus
2.
was more of a Crash Bandicoot guy. Yes, which
same
of the
Sonimus.
Crash Bandicoots, honestly, man, the third one is really good, but the second one had a lot of elements that made it good. I don't know. I would be torn to say which was the best Crash Bandicoot. But for Spyro, definitively number 2, Ripto's Rage.
Yeah.
I'm seeing if I can find the
Spent hours on that game.
names quick.
You saw the new Nvidia's announcement of the Xbox Series X artificial intelligence ray tracing? No. What was that? Jack and Daxter greater than Ratchet and Clank? You're absolutely correct.
Yes.
Jack 3 was amazing. Jack 2 was also amazing.
Jack 2 was.
Jack and Dexter was fine. It was a good start to the series. It was more of a platformer than it was like an action adventure game, but it was still really good. Sorry?
Ratchet and Clank 2 was
Going Commando, I
Going
remember
Commando, but it was locked and loaded in Europe.
that. Okay.
And Up Your Arsenal, which was just Ratchet and Clank 3 in Europe and Japan.
Okay.
So the American ones were a little bit more like,
Raunchy.
yeah.
Dawn of the Dragon was pretty fun on the Wii. I don't even know which one was Dawn of the Dragon.
It was part of the reboot trilogy.
Okay, I never played the reboot trilogy on with
Yeah, it's
Elijah
weird
Wood
how
apparently.
We get like
I was today
alternate
years
names.
old when I learned that Spyro was voiced by Elijah Wood on the PS2 generation.
That's so weird to me.
It's great.
And that Wayne Brady was also the voice of Sparks the Dragonfly.
I think it was Elijah Wood was the voice of Kratos' brother as an adult.
Weird.
And he looks just like Kratos with a beard. It's the weirdest thing. I think it was Elijah Wood.
Huh. Ripto's Rage or whatever is the only one I ever hear anyone talk about anymore, so I don't know. I'd say you're probably right. Yeah. Year of the Dragon was also really good. The first one also still stands up. Ripto's Rage had like all of the new gameplay elements that made the third one okay, and it was just like it was actually novel and good and enjoyable. The PS2 was so overhyped. You can't say that when it's the best-selling console of all time. You can say that it wasn't very good. You can't call it overhyped because it was purchased. Overhyped means that it was said to be really good, but nobody ever did anything with it. That's overhyping.
Yeah.
The PS2 is not overhyped. It still stands as the best-selling console of all time. You could say it's not as good as people think it was, but it wasn't overhyped. Hey, where did we get all of these new followers from? Did we get rated? I don't know. I don't know if we've been rated.
I think people are just flowing over from YouTube to Twitch.
It's possible.
Dreamcast was underhyped. We did not get the Dreamcast in South Africa.
Okay.
There was no market there, no foothold, no nothing. So possibly worldwide underhyped. I don't know.
Okay. Well, more news. In something that Facebook has done well, finally, they've implemented dark mode onto their desktop app.
I still do not have it.
Because you're on Mac and they hate you and you're using
Yes.
Safari and they don't care about Safari whatsoever.
Absolutely
Because
not.
Apple and Facebook are two competing platforms somehow.
They can fight.
They hate each other.
Fisticuffs.
The reason the Facebook phone failed was because of Apple.
Yes. Facebook had a phone.
You don't know this?
I don't know
It was
this.
produced by HTC.
Ew.
Yeah, it was bad. It wasn't very good. It should have been deleted like it always was. Everybody, thank you for the follows on Twitch. So Facebook finally has dark mode. I don't have the Facebook app installed on my phone. I just use it on desktop when I need to keep up to date with like local people who are still posting their lives to Facebook. I think my last post was after our charity stream last year.
Oh, dang.
Or yeah, like I post probably once a year on Facebook for like super big events, and that's it. Whereas everybody else is still updating daily life, and if I need to get in contact with them, that's usually the easiest place to do it. But now I can do it in dark mode, which I couldn't do before. Twitter still best for me personally. I like it.
Facebook hurts my eyes.
Jay Kristoff is saying they also said it's not a phone in their commercials. Wow.
What were they trying to market it as then?
Like a Facebook device. I don't know.
That's a phone!
Shut up. The Mythical Yeti Cord said, I own a Facebook phone, but only because it was given to me. I neglect my personal page. Facebook sucks. It sucks for me, but other people still really love it. Like all of the Gen X people, as well as like even more like socially isolated millennials. Or not socially isolated, more socially repressed millennials.
That one.
I feel like a majority of the older generation uses it, like my parents.
Mm-hmm.
They use Facebook every day
Yeah.
to keep in contact with friends.
Neckbeards also heavily use Facebook
Yes.
to show off their weebiness.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's a hideout for neckbeards.
Yeah. The Unholy Bacon. Thy Unholy Bacon said, do you get more ad revenue from Twitch ads or YouTube ads per ad? I have no idea. I didn't even know we had Twitch ads. Facebook steals all of your data and hurts your eyes. It's time to stop Facebook.
It's time to
I gave them
stop.
my data. I knew what I was doing. So
When you sign up,
yeah.
you agree.
The thing that I've stopped doing, or never did actually, protected myself against, was you know how you can sign in via Facebook to certain apps or certain websites?
Yeah.
Never did that. Never wanted them to have connection to that whatsoever.
I have one that I'm signed into on Facebook just because that was the option at the time.
Hmm.
I think it was Creative Live.
Okay.
And I think that's just when it first came out. So I was like, oh, let me try this. And that's the only one I've done to date.
Yeah. So Facebook now is dark mode. It's kind of cool. We already talked about the TSMC employee having it. And then this, no, Catlin, damn it, Catlin, you ruined it again. You're the worst stream moderator ever. I had a setup. I had a whole setup where I was going to cry. Now I'm crying because you failed me. You were the chosen one!
maybe you should tell me these things beforehand.
Yeah, she's right, but that doesn't make you right.
He just wants the drama.
And then in the worst news that could have ever possibly happened from the coronavirus, I can't even believe it. It's so awful. The coronavirus could have taken so much, but it could have taken this. The Samsung stores in the US and Canada are shutting down.
How much air do you have in those lungs?
I got long lungs. Who went to the Samsung stores?
No one I know of. I don't think SA had dedicated Samsung.
Who went to
stores,
the
did they?
Samsung stores? I need to wipe my tears. This is the dumbest, like, what? Who cares? We got bits. Can you scroll up? I just want to make sure who gave us bits. Mythical Yeti Corn with the bits.
Biddies.
Thank you for the Twitch bits. Yikes. Okay, well, Samsung stores now shut down in Canada and the US. Who cares? Nobody was going to them. NASCAR is replacing canceled races with esports with the pro drivers. So this is actually one of the big things that simulation games can offer that other games can't. So obviously, if you take LeBron James off of the basketball court, is he going to be the best NBA 2K20 player? No. However, because simulation games try their best to mimic the real life scenario of racing, actual race car drivers might be able to stand a chance against other professionals in the field. So NASCAR is going to be holding iRacing Pro Invitational Series, and it's going to replace the NASCAR races that were canceled. And so professional racers like Dale Earnhardt Jr., Bobby Labonte, I don't know how to say that, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin are going to be racing, and then it's also going to be commentated by Jeff Gordon and others. So it's if you need to get your NASCAR fix, they're doing it in a cool way where professionals are actually also going to be playing the E version of it, which is cool.
I hope they get like proper
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
I hope they get like proper sim races.
Yeah.
In and mingle them with these like actual NASCAR.
Probably won't.
I would love to see that.
That would be cool. That would be like an implementation of like something cool. I have two kid thanks listening to this to escape the crying. Sorry, Mick Brown. I know you didn't expect that when you came to Hot News. I would be weeping. I paid for an F1 subscription. Now what? I don't know. I'm American. We don't really watch F1 as a society. There are Americans who watch it. That's not my point, okay?
I think I remember seeing an article this morning when I was scrolling Twitter about F1 is going to be doing the exact same thing.
Okay.
Esports focus
Yeah.
and
Okay, that's good. How will South Africa fare with the coronavirus? True North asks. Reese, do you want to take that?
Not good. That's all I have to say. It's gonna be bad, fam.
Yeah, so South Africa, they took a few steps that were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, quite proactive.
That's the word
I was
looking for.
impressed there. It's just not going to be enough.
Yeah, so there were very
Unfortunately.
proactive steps taken by the South African government, such as refusing foreigners from high-risk countries to come in, canceling the visas of those high-risk foreigners, which is me.
If I
My
went
visa
back
got cancelled.
right now to South Africa, I would be put in mandatory quarantine for 14 days.
Which is a very proactive step.
Yes.
I will not be allowed back in South Africa
No.
because I'm from a high-risk country known as the United States of America.
Which was one of 18 high-risk countries.
Yes, it's not like they're singling out America. So my visa's permanently canceled with the South African government. I have to reapply in order to go back, which is not great because, you know, my son was born in South Africa. There's that. So they're also making sure that they're screening everybody who's coming off of planes, but they're doing that by creating giant cesspools of people waiting in line to get tested. And then they're finding out that the people who are submitting like the questionnaires of like, did you visit a country? Do you think you have been interacted with somebody who has coronavirus? Somebody checked yes to all of the flags, handed it in to the person, and what do you think? Just based on your experience with OR International Airport, OR Tambo International Airport, what do you think the person who got the card did with it? They didn't throw it out. They just took it, didn't look at it, put it in the pile, and said, go on to immigration.
Of course.
Of course. So somebody who thinks they have coronavirus was still allowed into the country and wasn't quarantined, even though they filled out the questionnaire that probably should have gotten them quarantined. So they say that they're quarantining, but they're not really, at least according to anecdotal evidence. And then on top of that, South Africa is missing a ton of infrastructure that makes quarantining at home a lot easier.
Yep.
We have running water in our house. We have a toilet in our house. I think it's 43% of all South Africans do not have a running tap in their house, and 13% of all South Africans do not have access to clean water.
Yes.
So you're supposed to wash your hands. How do you do that when the only source of water is a communal tap?
That everyone is touching.
Everybody. It's a huge issue. South Africa is very vulnerable for this. So even if the government does everything they possibly can to mitigate gatherings and all of that kind of stuff, the reality is South Africa has really deep systemic problems that are just going to exacerbate this pandemic. You can tell people not to gather in crowds of 50 or more, but are you going to tell them that they're not allowed to go get water from the community tap and that's their only source of water?
What are people going to do?
What are they going to do? Yeah. So South Africa's, they're in a rough state. They are a rough state.
You're not wrong.
I love South Africa, but I'm also very glad that I am weathering the coronavirus crisis here in the States and not there.
As someone who's lived in SA his entire life, same.
Well, especially so with our rare disease son who's immunocompromised and has to be on very special medication, supply chain issues to South Africa are hugely disruptive.
Something goes wrong
Once!
and you're out of a certain product for like 4 months.
Yes. And that's in the best case scenario where they're not shutting down ports. They're not shutting down other countries who are sending those things out. So, like our son's medication, we were able to get 90-day supplies of everything that he's on because the state of Florida declared a state of emergency, which opened up the insurance to allow us to do that. Excuse me. South Africa, one, they didn't have the medication he's currently on. Two, if they were out of the medication, I remember this. I went to the local pharmacy and I went to get the medication and they gave me the wrong one. And I was like, yo, you gave me the wrong one. And they were like, oh, we're out of the other one and we're going to be out for a while because there's none in the country.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I was just like, you can't just give me another medication.
That's not how this
That's
works.
not how this works. Especially since he has a ton of other issues. It's not just about the medication interacting with one another. He has other problems that if you give him that medication, it could exacerbate that. What the hell's wrong with you? And then the medication that we needed was out of stock in the country. So we had to endure that for a little while. And if that ever happened during the coronavirus crisis, and then our son got a lung infection on top of that, and then had the pneumonia that comes with the coronavirus, he would likely be dead. And then obviously with like the images that are coming out of Italy with like how overrun their hospital system is. Reese, how good's the public hospital system in South Africa?
I would not go there if my arm was chopped off.
And he's not exaggerating. He's not exaggerating.
You'll get a worse issue, like an infection, and then lose the rest of your body.
It's bad, guys. It's real bad.
Yeah.
Like, shockingly bad. I knew someone who, they took someone to the hospital at like 3 a.m. because they were pregnant and like their water broke.
Yeah.
The nurses on staff were sleeping and told them to go away.
Yep.
This woman is giving birth, and they told her to go away because they're disrupting their sleep.
We had a friend who gave birth in the waiting room to be admitted to the maternity ward because there were so many people giving birth at the public hospital. Whew! Okay, last little bit of news. For anybody who wants to play some Final Fantasy during the quarantine time, woo!
That's me.
Square Enix is slashing the pricing on all Final Fantasy Switch games. So this isn't all Final Fantasies because you're missing all of the classics like 6 and 3 and 1. But if you want 7, I think it was $8. If you want 8 remastered, it's $12. If you want 15 Pocket Edition, it's $15. You can just go check the Nintendo eShop to see the Square Enix games, but they're having a Square Enix sale, which will be good for people who want to play the games in the current scenario that's going on, which I absolutely will. Offline Map says, just tune in. Where was this hospital? We're talking about public hospitals in South Africa.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how prepared South Africa is for this coronavirus epidemic that's going to be hitting their shores.
Which is not at all.
Not at all. Not at all. The government's being proactive, but because of systemic issues in South Africa, you can only be so proactive. Whereas Square Enix doesn't have sales often. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is a good price, especially for 7 and 8 are must plays for me. I have to say, anyone, if you want to try an older Final Fantasy game, grab 7 or 8, both winners.
Yeah. Max Payne says Corona kills the rich too. It doesn't check your bank balance. Yes, but it's also the rich who are more easily able to quarantine.
Yes.
It's very easy to self-isolate if you have your next 1 to 10 years of your bills paid. But it's not very easy to self-isolate when you're living paycheck to paycheck because you work in a minimum wage retail job and your retailer won't shut down, so you're forced to contract the coronavirus, and you're more susceptible to getting it because you're dealing with the public. So yes, the rich still can get killed by the coronavirus, but they are also more well-equipped to just hide out in their houses, which is why that Imagine song, John Lennon thing that all the celebrities did was both well received as a gesture of goodwill, but also very poorly received as millionaires who get to hide out in their mansions.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a balance between that. Yes, if a millionaire got a coronavirus, would they necessarily be able to weather it out easier? Not necessarily, because there's still like rules and regulations in place about what they can be treated with, even if they're trying to do experimental stuff, so they have to go to a different country, which, I mean, millionaires can do. But then on top of that, I mean, if I'm a millionaire and I don't have to worry about working this month, do you think I'm streaming right now? Do you?
Gotta do what we gotta do.
Or am I on vacation in the Galapagos?
Where you could be.
Where I could be if I was a millionaire.
A lot of people saying 9 is a must play too.
9 is super underrated.
I personally did not play 9, so I don't know. So if that's something I should pick up, I should.
I have no drink in my cup. I had water and it's gone now.
If you were to recommend some first Final Fantasy game that someone should play, so
The
I've
first
never
game they
played
should play.
A single Final Fantasy game, but I'm curious and I want to get into it. Which one should I start with?
Okay, I would need more details about the person. So, okay, do you like reading text? Or would you prefer everything voice acted?
Voice acted.
Okay, then, would you prefer live action combat or are you okay with turn-based?
I don't know really the difference.
So you're saying they haven't played an RPG ever?
I don't know. This is very like subjective. So
12 or
okay,
15?
Maybe live action then.
15.
15.
I think 15 is a good introduction.
Everything's voice acted and it's lifetime action. So like it's just very easy to get into the gameplay of that.
Probably.
Whereas turn-based RPGs are really, really hard for me to deal with.
Yeah, I think if you want to play 7, but you've never played something like that before, those games would have been really difficult for me to get into.
Probably, yeah.
The first Final Fantasy I finished was 13 because it looked pretty. Gameplay wasn't the best, but the story was so good and it looked so great that the story drove me to finish that game.
Yeah.
Halo Collector. Final Fantasy is a lie. None of them are final.
Sorry?
He says Final Fantasy is a lie. None of them are final.
That's true. I mean, they're done, so technically it's final. Somebody's asking if I saw the NVIDIA GDC replacement stream, and I literally can't find any news about it. And I can't find any indication that they had a stream. And I'm like looking on their Twitter page and I'm looking through news reports and I can't find anything about a stream. I played 7, 8, and 14, which is an MMO. Sorry, excuse me.
Enemo.
It's an NMO. Goes right in your bun. Final Fantasy 15 is never done because cup noodles.
Cup noodles.
That's probably the best product placement I've ever seen in a video game.
That was the best quest as well.
The never-ending story does end. That's also a lie. You're right. Absolutely. 100%. Minecraft. Why are we talking about Minecraft? 8 was good, but I didn't like the junction system. The junction system was the... What? How young were you when you played it? Okay, because that probably determines whether or not you enjoyed the junction system. Because you had to put thought into it. The junction system was game-defining for Final Fantasy VIII. It made or broke whether or not you were able to actually play the game properly, okay? You fly to the island of heaven and hell with your freaking Ragnarok, you battle the level 99 Marlboro. Come on, my friend. You can't do that unless you're junctioned properly or you had a Game Shark, okay? I was the second one.
Of course you were.
I had to read that junction system about 2 or 3 times before I understood how to play the game.
As an adult, I know how to do it very easily. The draw system sucked. I never drew from the enemies. What are you talking about? Why would I waste a move on drawing?
It took a while to stock up.
It doesn't make any sense.
I had to like reread the whole like tutorial on junctioning when I started playing 8 again on my Switch.
Yeah.
Because it had been so long that it wasn't a very intuitive system, I would say. It's not user friendly for someone jumping in, but once you had the hang of it, it's fine.
Yeah. Do you think you get the Czech UFD tax since you were in Africa and you just moved back to the US? Unless he filed paid tax for the US 2018-2019. What are you talking about? What check?
I think he's talking about the Trump check.
I don't know. My job's not affected. I really don't care if I get the money or not. I'm doing okay. Like, you guys are supporting us on stream right now. Unless, like, April is a horrific month for AdSense. Like, we still, like, our job's not impacted by the coronavirus right now. It could be in the future because if companies aren't paying for advertising, there's no AdSense to go around. We're essentially screwed. In which case, I'll probably let you guys know that we're essentially screwed. However, as it stands currently, like would a stimulus check be helpful? Sure, I'd take extra money. Do I need it? Like, I will be fine. I will be fine. This is the truth. It's the true truth. You were cheating. Of course you never drew. No, I play. So this is how I play Final Fantasy games. I play once legitimately. I go through, I beat the game, normal mode, everything. Like, I play it the way it's supposed to be played. Then, on my New Game Plus, I go back with cheats, and I just wreck everything, and I figure out all the things that I missed because I was just too busy focusing on the story.
Steamroll.
We just got a Twitch Prime! Woo! Thank you for the Twitch Prime, my friend. GameStop hasn't been essential since Steam. You're not wrong. Where's the child? Okay.
I sent you a message.
Okay, I told you that I wouldn't read your messages because I'm not streaming.
Communication.
Do you wanna come say hi to stream quickly?
Should I grab the baby now?
It's up to you.
Okay.
Probably shouldn't. Yeah.
Either way.
We all need the check. The promise. Every US some more lives. I don't know. I'm not following. What do you? Why? Why does it matter?
I don't know. He's going heavy on that.
Yeah, you're really on something that I have not been following. So I mean, I miss Tank. Then go watch his YouTube channel. Go talk to him. Reese isn't Tank. You were Reese all along!
Ah!
Exposed.
Jinkies.
Would be pretty messed up if not every American gets it. You say that, but then how many people are going to be mad that Jeff Bezos gets one?
A lot of people.
A lot of people.
He doesn't
You might
need
not.
it.
You might not say that, but like the idea that everybody should get one, like a lot of people are going to say that some people don't need them, so you should take their check and give it to the people who need it the most. It's a complicated system. There's no perfect solution. Stimulus checks are kind of funky. The only like symmetrical way of doing it without like going through tons of like rules and regulations and loopholes is just give everybody the same amount. That's the simplest way without having to codify this person in this tax bracket gets this much, this person if they didn't submit taxes doesn't get any. Like you have to create so many rules for the current system that the fastest way of doing it would be the simplest one, which is just give everybody a flat amount. I don't know. I don't care.
It's complicated.
He wants to go up the stairs.
No, he can't because they're the aircon people. It's baby time. Zoom in on the baby.
Hi, baby.
It's baby time.
Can you say hi to Catelyn? Can you wave? Look,
Say hi.
see Catelyn? You waved her.
Hi.
Yeah, you see my laptop? You can't touch that though, okay? You want to go to mama?
It took a little while
Okay.
because he got little casts put on his little legs,
Okay.
and then they cut them off.
Oh,
Which
wow.
was exciting.
Wow.
Not his legs, the casts.
He has no legs! Come here, baby.
So it just took a lot longer than I thought it was going to.
Okay. So what is this for?
This is because he needs these things called AFOs on his feet inside of his shoes when he walks, because his knees and his ankles are not doing the things that they're supposed to do to support proper walking. So he's going to have these little boot things in his shoes, which I picked out that he would get a flame design on them.
Oh my gosh. So are we talking like 90s, like Guy Fieri flames?
I don't know. It just said flames. So
Oh,
we'll
boy.
have to see.
Oh boy. This is like peak early 90s. I have frosted tips and a spiky hair.
He likes fire.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
So I thought he would like it. And they're going to come all the way up to his knees, so the flames will be visible anytime he's wearing shorts.
Okay. Nice.
So yeah. But we'll have to see in 3 weeks what they actually look like when we
Okay.
go back.
Woo! Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, baby.
So you're getting an arms workout.
Yeah.
While he's here. I'll take him
Okay.
and get the other boys.
All right.
Because it's lunchtime now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye. Emmett, can you give Daddy a kiss?
Bye.
Say hi to Daddy? No, he wants to go up the stairs. So that's what
You
we're
should not do that.
Oh, right. How do I get the boys then?
They're in that room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Bye.
Let's go find.
Oh, so what were we talking about?
I have no idea.
You made it Jinkies.
Or Reese isn't tank.
Oh yeah, Reese is not Tank. I'm watching UFD Tech on my birthday. Really? Or
Happy
do something
birthday.
else.
It's your birthday.
No, don't celebrate this.
Why?
Because he's not celebrating.
Happy
He's watching
birthday.
us, so clearly he's not celebrating his
He's
birthday.
being a good person staying indoors.
Why is he staying in the door? Shouldn't he stay behind the door?
How dare you?
Somebody said, tell a dad joke, so I had to. Sorry to keep talking about, but the stream was on Mixer. I feel like you're lying. Trolling, that's the word I'm looking for. I feel like you're being facetious about everything. I don't necessarily. What service are you using for restreaming? Restream.
Easy peasy.
Easy. What about the Oculus 2 Quest 2 leak? I haven't seen that at all. That wasn't available this morning when I compiled the hot news. So that's not something that we got in the hot news topics. Doom Eternal is awesome. Why was it on Mixer? That's what I would want to know. Because
It's a weird place
the
to
previous
do it.
NVIDIA streams have all been on YouTube and Twitch. And their own streaming service. They actually contract with another one on their own website. Why would they ever use Mixer?
Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Celebrating birthday sucks when you're closer to being put 6 feet under. No, you don't know that. You might be one day closer and you're going to die tomorrow. Okay?
Well then.
I don't know. I'm grim about certain stuff. I like to accept the finality of life.
Fair.
So our second part of the stream today was supposed to be me ranting, but I've already gone on 2 rants today. I went through my woke Brett rants and I went through the GameStop rant. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else that could piss me off? What do you guys want to hear me rant about?
Yeah, I
Catlin,
my brain is all
we're
rented
gonna keep
out.
it on YouTube. Go ahead and Friday Variety. Scooby-Doo! Oh, it doesn't have background.
I love
I
that.
couldn't figure out a background.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands.
Jazz
You
hands.
doing the jazz hands?
You got banned. ACS Create. You guys good? Bye. Love you guys. Cheers. Intel. There's nothing to rage about with Intel. They're failing. They know it. They're admitting it. They got nothing going on. Done. Unoptimized PC ports of games. Nope, because I play them on console, so it doesn't affect me. Because I play them when they come out. So like that's honestly something that doesn't bother me. Like having Final Fantasy 15 not be good on PC really didn't affect me because I had beaten it 18 months prior. Red Dead Redemption not being good on Rockstar's launcher, yeah, it sucks, but I already played it.
That seems to be the biggest argument for consoles at this point, is how quick the games come out on there compared to PC.
Yeah. Stadia, next week is Stadia. Next week, Friday, is me ranting about Stadia. Have you spoken about Snowflake and Safe Space? I don't think I have the qualifications to speak about that publicly, so...
This is your safe space.
No, this isn't... There's no such thing as a safe space on the internet.
Okay, start the rant.
Oh my gosh. I really wished internal hard ray tracing instead of having Google Stadia support. I mean, you never know. Stadia might update to have RDNA too.
I think they might.
Oh, shut up! They're gonna be behind the times like always. You turned burglar.
I said one positive thing about
Oh,
Stadia.
good. No, it's ridiculous.
Look at him go.
That's what I need though. I need a foil to like actually bounce the other ideas off of me, and I just still go down swinging.
We need to make you a tinfoil hat that you could put on,
We absolutely need me to have a tinfoil hat. Absolutely.
just like as a prop piece that we can.
Like an actual hat, though,
Yes.
not like one of those alien ones
No,
that
no,
are
it
supposed
has
to
to be
block
like-
the
A
waves.
Jack Sparrow line.
Oh, Jack Sparrow just like extended.
Oh
cap.
no! I thought you were saying Jack Sparrow, and I was like, okay.
No, Jack Sparrow.
I know who Jack Sparrow is.
Yes.
Yikes!
For everyone who doesn't know, local South African musician who has a cap on at all times
Hat.
that extends till like there.
It's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I think you need a picture.
Okay, I'll pull up Jack Sparrow.
Ah. You're just gonna get like
I
autocorrects
don't
for
like
Jack
him.
Sparrow.
No, I don't like him.
He's actually supposed to be a really chill guy. in
He's
person.
very nice in person.
You can switch over to my screen. So this is Jack Sparrow from South Africa.
Ik denk je is cooler as Akka.
Oh no!
What are you saying?
You think you're cooler than me?
It was one of his songs. How ridiculous is this hat?
I don't like this guy.
It's the stage persona.
Yeah, his like.
I
actual-
don't like the persona.
Him in like normal everyday life. He's a cool guy, very chill.
It's not my thing. That guy is not my thing. He looks like an 80s porn actor in those first pics.
Especially with the heavy mustache and stuff.
I also think that's probably what he's going for, because
It
South
is.
Africa has like some weird 80s stuff that's still around, like short shorts on guys. That's still a thing in South Africa.
And like really permed hair.
yeah, it's a big thing. So like it wouldn't surprise me if that's the inspiration for what he's doing.
More than likely, yeah.
I personally don't appreciate whatsoever.
Playing into the whole thing. It's all just an act. All these people.
There's a snowboard on his head.
Practically.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Oh, we didn't close out with the existential question of the day. Okay, we'll
Ah,
just
dang.
re-ask it. It's okay. Is water wet?
Is water wet?
Is water wet or was water wet? Or
Does the
will
presence
water
of
wet?
water make things wet, or is water wetting itself?
Is it scared?
Yes.
It go pee pee? Doug Dimmadome approves.
Yes.
This is his counterpart, Doug Slimadome.
It's his South African cousin who they don't speak of.
How would you say Doug Dimmadome with a Afrikaans accent?
I can't pull the Afrikaans accent
Catelyn,
out in.
come do it in front of everybody.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Do it in front of everybody!
Doug Dimmadome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
like
you want me to read it in Afrikaans?
I want you to say it with an Afrikaans accent.
Doug Dimmadome.
it hits my ears so wrong.
Oh,
Doug Dimmadome.
Doug Dimmadome.
see, you can do it. I knew you could do it,
You
Reese.
can do it.
I believed in you. Believe in the heart of the cards.
Doug Dimmadome.
Doug
Channel
Dimmadome.
you in Afrikaans accent.
I don't. Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Go away. I regret asking you to come up here. You did a great job on a horrible thing.
How to make a braai pie.
Task failed successfully.
Go away, Catelyn! Be gone!
Suzelle DIY.
No!
She does the perfect Sazelle DIY.
She does.
How to tell if your batteries are dead or alive.
Are we gonna do that for Cat's Crafts? You just do
No.
it. Yes! Cat's DIY.
At least for one episode.
Oh, that was awful.
An Afrikaans accent just hits my ears so wrong. When you hear it in like a movie, like a Hollywood movie, and it just pops out at you, like, oh.
That's not even, and that's very exaggerated. That's not how people sound.
Yeah.
It is, though.
No, it's not.
Totally is.
I know people from my hometown who sound exactly like that.
What do you mean an English accent? Do you mean a British accent? Because she is speaking English.
I'm pretty sure that's what they mean. Anyone know how late I am?
Hopefully enough that you've gotten your pregnancy test already.
You're late for the Hot News Live. You're early for Friday Variety.
Yes.
Variety.
Variety.
Can you
Sorry,
say cup
Catelyn.
of tea with a British accent?
Cup of tea?
Yeah.
What?
Cup of tea.
There. Catelyn.
That wasn't very good.
Catelyn can switch between accents easier though. I have to like focus down and just.
Do you reckon the PS5 will have water cooling? I think they will call their vapor chamber cooling water cooling, yes.
It's a buzzword.
Yes. It has liquid inside, so it is therefore water cooling.
What cooling?
Water.
Water?
Water. It's water cool.
Water?
Water?
Water.
Water.
What?
Gotta drink some water.
Ah!
I'm going with some water. How is your kid? Reese, tell them how my kid is.
I can't speak for how your kid is.
You can't speak for nothing then.
No, I'm South African. I have no voice here. This is America. Ah. I need to get some water. I'll trade out.
You know what
Come
we
on.
need more than water?
Come on, we gotta do the trade out.
Okay. You know what we need more than water? We need air conditioning.
We do.
Yes.
Is water cooling wet though? Hopefully not. Hopefully your components aren't wet after water cooling.
Hopefully within the contained system it's water cooled.
But if it's too cold, won't it like condensate and make droplets?
Yeah, that's why it doesn't have an active cooler. Yeah, it's just through radiators. So basically it's the fan blowing out the heat. And the water returns to room temperature is the general idea of water cooling. You're in America now. Your voice is just as important as everyone else's. No.
Disagree.
I'm pretty sure America has had a long history of not regarding foreigners.
These are facts.
I regard Reese though, so it's not my personal politics. I'm just saying America typically, you know.
Have you eaten all the Reese's Puffs yet? I have not. There are still tons.
Yes. Is that 2 boxes left? I'm pretty sure one's empty and you haven't thrown it away yet.
No, there is stuff still in
Okay.
there. Unless you ate the last little bit and I just didn't know.
I may have and put the I don't think I put the box back. I think I left it out to be thrown out and somebody put it back.
Either way.
With power vested in me as self-proclaimed king of my hometown, Reese is an honorary American.
Why, thank you.
Too bad the American government won't agree to that.
Yes.
America is all foreigners. That is not true. How could you disregard them like that? There are many Americans who are Native Americans. So you can't say that they're all foreigners. Unless we're talking about 10,000 years ago they came over the Bering Strait, in which case you're getting into very, very difficult territory where there was no nation states, okay?
Deal with it.
Ridiculous, okay? There are some Native Americans who were here at the foundation of the United States of America, therefore they are Native to the land. They are not foreigners. And currently speaking, I am also not a foreigner. I was born here. Reese is not a native U.S. citizen.
No. I was born and raised in South Africa.
I own PS4 and Xbox One, but I must say PS4 had more exclusives than Xbox One. I don't think they had more. I think they had more ones that you remember. The Xbox Series X is still worth getting over the PS5 for its features? I don't think so. I think the PS5 is definitely the one that is worth buying.
What good is horsepower when you don't have the games behind it?
All foreigners. Okay, Sir Nicholas. Okay. You win. Yeah, what gives the power if you don't have games that actually matter?
Yeah, no, like, just look at the Switch. It's a pathetic little system, but it's a tablet like this size, this thick, that has all the stuff self-contained, yet it's sold more than the Xbox has.
Yes.
Already.
Yes.
And it's been out for less time, simply because it has good first-party titles that you can't get elsewhere.
It's like, what, 1 teraflop?
Just over 1 teraflop, I think.
Yeah, it's like half the performance of the original PS4, but still has sold more than the Xbox One. Like, clearly,
Games matter.
power doesn't matter in consoles. If you care about power, you should be on PC and do the EP measuring contest there. Okay? EP measuring between consoles doesn't matter that much. Dedicated game systems are only good as their games, because they're dedicated to the games.
I mean, you can have all the horsepower in the world.
Is it possible to overclock a PS4 and water cool it? Okay, I really looked into this video because I was gonna do it. You can water cool a PS4. That's not an issue. There's plenty of videos of that happening. I really wanted to find a way that you could overclock a PS4, and you can't. You can't because the PlayStation OS is locked down. You don't have access to that root level stuff that you would possibly need. So it's not a thing. If it was, we would have done the video. I really, really wanted to do that, and I couldn't find a way to make it happen.
Would have been fun. Would have
Yeah.
been really cool to do.
Yeah. EPN only matters on PC, not console, not Mac. Yeah, it's all about what you're using the device for. If we're talking about laptops, are we really going to compare laptops based on how well they can make phone calls? Some can. Some have LTE connectivity that you can get set up to a SIM and you can use it as your phone.
Fun.
Sure. Cool.
Sweet.
But why would you measure it based on that? And would you measure Ultrabooks versus gaming laptops and show, hey, gaming laptops can actually play Doom Eternal at 60 FPS on Ultra Nightmare. Oh, but your laptop can't. Yeah, I have my laptop to be portable because I use it all of the time, not at a desk. So of course I want battery life and enough power. That's what I want it for. So why am I comparing things that don't matter? Why would we compare teraflops to teraflops when the only thing that matters on a console, as proved by the Switch, is the games? Obviously, having better hardware means that the games can be better. And we need to view it through that lens. Sony's first-party titles will have features we have never seen before in other video games because of just how blisteringly fast their I/O is. But we will never see the difference of 1.7 teraflops between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X when you're actually sitting down to play God of War 2. Ever.
Straight facts.
Cat facts.
Rock facts.
Why do you guys not sit down? Because this is a standing stream. It keeps our blood pumping. It makes sure that we're acting like we're engaged because it's very difficult for us to come across like we're enthusiastic with you if we're sitting down.
Can you imagine if we were just slumped down
This is
in
what
the chair?
every other freaking tech talk channel on the face of the internet sits down. And you know why? Because they like to relax. It's their unwinding time where they're being casual. This is our high energy time. Let's go, baby! You're not a part of this team.
I wanted to feel included.
Okay, fine. Then you have to come up here and do it. You can't do it from your behind. You're sitting down. You can't do it.
Yo, I cannot sit down and control everything, or stand up and control everything.
We can make this a standing desk.
No thanks.
You had the opportunity. She can't participate because she's sitting down, not because she's a woman.
I'm not sitting down in my heart.
I believe in you, Catelyn.
Wow, cat. If the source code for God of War 2 got leaked, it could happen, so maybe not never. Never.
Never.
Because Xbox doesn't have the I/O design that Sony does. The PS5 will have features that PCs and Xboxes cannot replicate because of how they've designed the vertical integration of the entire I/O system. We're not just talking about SSDs. Sure, you can have an 8 gigabyte per second PCI Express 4.0 SSD on a PC, but that doesn't mean that every single lane and channel and conduit that I/O goes through is optimized for utilizing all of that speed. Your bottleneck's going to happen somewhere else. Sony is making sure that bottleneck doesn't happen on the I/O system anywhere. We're not just talking about brute speed. We're talking about a complete overhaul of the entire development of the I/O. The speeds we're going to see are going to be 1,000 times faster, which you don't get because the SSD is not 1,000 times faster than a hard drive. It's not. So how do you get 1,000 times faster speed? You get 1,000 times faster speed by reconfiguring the other bottlenecks, not just the bandwidth.
I think Sony is doing big picture stuff here that we don't realize because all we see is the teraflops.
Yes. Which is why the PS5 sucks.
Of course.
But it doesn't matter.
I'm still going to get one.
Why do you care about whether or not something sucks if you're looking for a hairdryer that blows? I guess it has to suck well on one end in order to blow the hot air on the other side. I was just trying to do antonyms, sucking and blowing, but I didn't want it to come across as too pornographic in my language, and I made it weird.
Of course. That's how things go.
And the more you talk about it, the weirder it gets.
That's typically the way it is for me because my brain works in bad areas. Which GPU would you recommend for an i5-9400F? I'd probably say an RTX 2060 Super. Oh, no, sorry, you wouldn't want that. You would want a 5700 XT because they're the same price.
I haven't been keeping
I have a
up with prices,
2060 Super, so that's why I said it. Yeah.
Bias.
No, the 5700 XT came out at the same price as the 2060 Super, and it's the same speed as the 2070, so why would you do that? You could probably go up to a 2070 Super. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on your budget, so.
Yeah. I don't think I have a rant. I don't have a rant, so I think that
You all ranted out.
Yeah, that part of Friday Variety happened during Hot News Live.
That's
So
fine.
I'm sorry. Next week we will have a Google Stadia rant because I'm preparing another Google Stadia video.
That's gonna be interesting.
We are going to do one a month. As long as I continue to pay for the platform, I will continue to make a video on how much it sucks because I'm paying for that right.
That's the American way.
So I'll have that video coming out next weekend, which means I'll have the rant ready, prepped, rehearsed, discussed by next Friday, and it'll be good to go for all of you. We are still getting so many followers on Twitch. I don't know what's happening. It's amazing. Thank you, everybody, for following us on Twitch. We have a lot of people watching us on Twitch. It's crazy.
How much? Nice.
That's really good. Yeah, you guys are being amazing. So thank you so much. So what's the other part of Friday Variety? Do we want to do the South African words, or do we want to go into I was today years old when I learned?
Well, I've prepared South African words.
Okay, let's do that. Because the audience can participate
Yes,
much more easily in this one.
I want to see what people think these words mean.
Okay, so what's the gimmick here? Can you come up and explain, or do you want Reese to explain what's going on? Because
Well,
I'm not quite sure.
I'll show you and explain as I'm going along.
Okay.
Okay.
So, here we go. Icona.
Icona. So Icona's the word, and then what's blurred is the definition.
Yep.
Yes.
And then I have to guess what Icona means.
Yes.
What do you think Icona means?
Icona go to the grocery store.
All right, chat. What do you guys think that means?
If you're South African, you're not allowed to reveal what it is in chat.
Yes.
Don't be that person. If you're gonna be that person, we're gonna ban you.
Icona.
Thomas Don like essay words. You dang right.
You got my Prime sub. It was either you or Linus. You need it more, and you guys are way more fun. Agent Zappo, thank you, my friend. Woo! Rubbing my
Icona is a-
knees for you.
Icona is a pop group.
Icona. Okay, can you give it to me in a sentence, or is that not allowed?
Sure we can.
Okay, give it to me in a sentence.
Oh dang! How am I gonna do this without spoiling it?
I just want to hear how it sounds in the context of other words. Even if the sentence doesn't make sense, I want to hear how you would say it.
Okay. Okay.
Because a lot of me being in South Africa, you can kind of figure it out by the way people say things. Lekker man, lekker. Like I used to think the word chuffed meant angry.
No.
Yeah, I know, because it's the exact opposite. But chuffed, like in my mind, I imagine the word chaff, which is a negative thing in most contexts where it's used, because you have the wheat and the chaff. So I thought chuffed was a weird way of saying chaffed, and it just meant like somebody chafed your skin. You're chuffed.
Some people think it means icon, like a star, a celebrity.
No.
It's not that. Good. That was.
Give me a
good-
sentence!
Catelyn, can you think of anything without giving it away? Because it's a very like, it's a word replacement for a phrase of several words. So
I gonna go. Icona. Can you say it again?
Icona.
Icona. I in the corner. I have no idea.
Icona, this coronavirus.
yeah,
Kicking our butts.
icon.
Icon.
Oh, it's like a sigh of displeasure.
Not entirely.
Okay.
You're getting
Okay.
more.
Let's go ahead and reveal it. We don't need to belabor all of this one. Not on your life. A Zulu term used to express shock or disbelief when talking to friends or family. Okay.
So it's like,
Icona. Why does? Oh, okay.
it's
So
like really, or
Oh,
like
okay.
you're kidding. Like kind of a replacement for that with just a simple single word.
okay. Got you. Nice.
Shock and disbelief.
Ah! I'm shocked that I couldn't know what Icona meant.
Okay.
Some
Next up.
boot sequence that he had. Google it.
I love this one.
Okay, Babalas.
Ah,
Sorry?
a classic.
Babalas.
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 I'm guessing it's food. Okay.
Food and drink related, I would
Okay.
say.
Babalas. I feel like I've heard this. Does it have to do with a braai?
You can get babalas after a braai.
After. Oh, you get drunk.
Babalas is a result
Is it
of a bride.
drunk?
You're on the right track.
Are you wasted? Like
Think longer than that.
hungover? Okay.
If you're babalas, you're hungover.
I got it. Yay. This word is derived from the Zulu ibabalazi and is used to describe a really bad hangover. Okay, so how would you say it? Like, give me a sentence.
Oh man, I'm so babalas this morning.
So you use it as a verb.
You can use that as a verb, or you can just I'm babalas. Like
Okay.
that's or I have babalas. You know, you can
I'm Babalas this morning.
yeah. I'm hungover this morning, or I have a hangover. You know,
Did you see Reese when he came into work this morning?
super babalas.
That guy was Babalas.
Okay, got you.
Okay.
When you ask for extra soy sauce, icon.
Blixum.
Ooh.
Listen.
Is it a word of surprise?
Can be.
But that's not
Okay.
the actual. You know how people can like use words in other contexts.
Blixum. Damn it! No.
No.
Blixum sounds naughty. I don't think it would be naughty if it was on stream.
Not naughty.
It's
We're not naughty people, okay?
It's not naughty, but it can be used in a rude context.
Okay, give me a rude context. Be rude with me.
Go Blixum!
Oh, jeez. South African for taint. I was reading a comment. It wasn't me. Guys, top of the morning to you. I just woke up from drinking. Are you Babalas right now?
Are you babalas?
And no work. Voldemort closed GM down. I'm sorry, my friend. Are you still getting paid, or is it just like is it a paid time off scenario? Want to know how you're doing, Angablade. Can you afford milk? What I want to know. Jokingly, but also seriously. Blixum is a Pokemon, I'm pretty sure. Okay,
You could say that for a lot of these.
what does Blixum mean? This is a derogative term meaning to hit or punch someone. I'll Blixum you.
I'll beat you, I'll hit you, but you can also call
Okay.
someone.
Yeah, like if somebody's being a little turd.
Yeah,
Like you're saying they have a punchable face?
it's basically like if you're calling someone that, in the same kind of way, it means you're gonna do that to them, but like
Okay.
it's like you're asking for a beating. You Blixum.
Okay.
It's like they're shortening words and then creating a unique phrase from it. So yeah.
Yeah, pay time off, and of course I can. Why? You want me to get you some milk? My friend, you just asked me to bathe in it, so that's why I was asking.
We need some milk. Okay.
Chomi China Cuz.
John,
Jom.
China, Guz.
Chomi, like Kami? Like comrade?
No.
China? Comrade?
I
Communism?
see where you're
Cuz?
getting there,
Like,
but
bro? Cuz?
It's
What's going
chom.
on?
what do you
chom.
guys think chom means?
Chom. C-H-O-M. Cheap.
I love some of these guesses.
Donald Trump is not my chom.
Not your friend.
What have I walked into? We are talking about South African slang that is going to confuse the heck out of anyone who's not from South
I
Africa.
don't know what's going on.
Your brew, yes, is your chom, your
I said friend, comrade.
You said comrade, not friend.
That counts?
It's your brew.
I'm China?
Yeah,
Do people say that?
Yeah.
China. Probably a lot more in the Western Cape though.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
more regional thing there.
Because it sounds like my Gina when you say it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
Okay, China.
Chrissy UMS guessed right. Hey.
Hey.
This one people should guess it.
Not even I know that, and I'm from South Africa.
Domko.
No, Domkop.
Oh. Because I think this is almost like the German word as well.
Yeah.
Domkop.
Domko.
Dumbass?
VC
I don't know.
Jester, stupid head. That's it.
Yes.
Dumbass works then.
Yeah, dumbass.
That's what I
stupid
said,
head.
and you didn't give me any recognition.
I didn't hear you say that.
Idiot.
This term literally translates to dumbhead and is derogatory term used to describe someone who you think is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ach, you Domko. You broke my cell phone.
Is that the example sentence?
Yes.
Fundi.
Ah, this is one I was gonna suggest.
I got a fundi.
Is this your fundi?
It's fundi, right? Not fundy?
Fundi.
Yeah.
Fundi.
Gunther's saying
Isn't this
Dutch
a
as
Zulu
well.
word?
I think so.
I think it's
I
Zulu,
think it's a Zulu
or
word.
Xhosa. I'm not too sure.
Pretty sure it's Zulu.
It's possible. Fundi. Does anyone have any guess as to what it could mean?
It's a noun.
Yeah, you'll say this about a person.
A person is a fundi.
A male thong.
No.
No, that's a good one though.
Fundi. I fun time in the cemetery. What?
Fun die.
Oh, fundi. Ah ha ha. It means fun, but only for the first week of the month.
It's definitely not derogatory.
No,
Okay.
this is, if someone calls you a fundi, it's a good thing.
Okay. I got
Party
nothing.
person, ugly person, none of those. Good find? No.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, apparently. Fundi. I've heard it. I don't remember what it was. There's so much that I heard in South Africa where I was like, I don't even understand what you're saying altogether. That I hear your words, but when they're put together, I got nothing. So
Were you just like in the conversation but letting it go by?
just gone.
I call my friend a fundi. Yeah,
Okay. What is it?
Fundi.
is a genius.
A term derived from the Nguni tribe, used to describe someone who is an expert at something. Ah,
Yes.
he's a fundi at that.
Yes.
Ah. Got it. Genius.
Brett likes to think he's a fundi.
I do. Callan is Blixum.
Perfect use of the word.
Gutval. Okay.
Hutful.
Hutfall, whatever. Screw you, G's.
Yeah, we like to. It's terrible.
Hutfall.
It's awful on your
And
throat.
the V is an F. Hutfall.
Hutful.
Hutfall.
Yeah.
Hutfall. Football.
Can I
Gutval.
eat it? It is not food. No.
Hutfall. Isn't it like a... So... No, I'm probably wrong. I want to say F off.
No.
What word am I thinking of that's F off? Fuck off.
Futsack,
Footsec.
which is not on here.
I probably should. That's VOETSEK?
Yeah.
Okay, Footsec. Which...
Don't say Futsack. Hutful.
Yeah, you are hutful. That's
rude.
in a
Say
sentence.
Stop saying that about me. I'm an American.
Right now I am.
I'm not Gutfall.
Catalan's getting hutful behind
I'm
the
getting
PC.
Hutful.
Tired.
No.
Discriminated.
What?
Ruined.
You can use it to.
Deported.
You can use it in the sense of fed up.
Okay.
I'm chatvol, I'm fed up.
Give us the meaning filled to the brim and is used to describe someone who is very angry or tired of the same thing happening over and over again. Why are you getting chutfald right now?
That you won't guess it.
Oh my gosh. Fine. Bye. I love anime and cartoons.
Bye.
Bye.
We're giving you new words.
We'll do one more.
Yeah, we're giving you new words.
Chocha.
Hoja.
Chocha.
We're giving you new words to bug your friends with.
So this is not pronounced gaga. It's pronounced chocha.
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 For anyone who's not Afrikaans, these words are harsh on your throat.
Chocha. Or, I mean, German people can do it as well.
Flemish, Dutch.
A hot babe?
It is very much the opposite of a hot babe.
An auntie or a granny?
No. Go away? No.
Wait, is it an uggo?
What?
No.
No.
Okay, because you said it's the opposite of a hot babe, so it's an ugly person.
No, not in that sense.
Okay.
Tim Tams is getting close.
Bugaloo. What is the bugaloo? What is happening? How is it getting close? That's not Tim Tam.
What?
Yeah, you said Tim Tam's getting close, and you're pointing to not Tim Tam.
No, I'm not pointing there. I'm covering a word. Or part of a word.
I don't. You're being secretive, and it's making no sense. I don't know what you want.
What
Reese.
is this word?
I'm done, Reese. I'm done
What
with
is
you.
this word?
I don't care.
Look at it!
No, Catlin, tell us what the word is.
It's a bug.
It's a bug. Oh my gosh, the G is pronounced as a ch in the back of the throat. Why are they giving me how to pronounce it?
I don't know.
That's weird. Chocha.
Those harsh G's sound Dutch indeed. Our Flemish G's are much softer. That is true. I can understand Flemish when I hear it. Like, I do have to pay attention. It's very similar, but it's also spoken differently.
Weird.
Hoja. I don't even know what language that is. I guess Afrikaans, which kind of feels like a made-up word.
A lot of them are.
Hojas.
Catlin, I think we really need some like graphics for these subsegments too. That'll be
Yeah.
your next.
That's
Okay,
true, Doverkin.
Take a bit of work.
Yes, correct.
So I can't have them all immediately.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, so we're done with the words.
I've
Yeah.
got more, but
No,
we can be done.
yeah, that was a lot. You have a lot. Look at the scroll down. You have tons. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're not doing all of those. Oh wow, it's too many.
Cool.
Yikes. All right, so the next segment of Friday Variety is that we're going to be doing I was today years old when I learned.
I love these.
Are you all ready to learn some things?
My favorite part about these is it ruins my perception of life.
That is true. And my favorite part about these is that they're not fact checked. So if they end up being wrong, we stole them from the internet.
You're welcome.
100 bits from Volandis.
Hey!
Donate me bits? More! Please go. Amaze me. How could you explain in what situation bottleneck affects gaming? Bottleneck affects gaming all of the time. That's why you don't have 1,000,000 FPS or unlimited FPS. Something is always bottlenecking your gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have unlimited performance because there is a bottleneck somewhere. So whenever your performance is less than what you want, you have a bottleneck that is undesirable. Or if you're drinking Corona, because the shape of that just gives you virus. It's not good. Okay, so I was today years old when I learned that if your headphone plug has one stripe, it's mono. You probably already know
I do
this.
know this one.
If it has two, then it's stereo. If it's three, it's stereo plus a microphone.
Yes.
I've never thought to stare at the plug.
In most senses, that's
Yes.
one. I know this one. Yeah.
Do you want to know how I learned that?
How?
It's a horrible story.
Oh no.
How long does
Did
this
you-
go on?
Did you record mono audio when you meant to do stereo? Or
No, this is bad. So,
You have to come up here and tell
yeah,
the story.
story time.
People can't hear
Story
you.
time.
You're not allowed to go on a story if people can't understand what you're saying.
Is it because of my accent?
Yes.
So I learned that those stripes mean mono and stereo because on my stereo
No, it's not a steering wheel.
stereo on my auxiliary cord in the car I would plug into my phone. One day I unplugged it and half the auxiliary cord stayed in my phone.
No.
And then I could fit the rest of the auxiliary cord back in and it would still play, but it would only play on like the left or the right side of the car. So I learned, it's only reading one side of the auxiliary cord.
I've never paid attention to the stripes. That's my thing. So
I paid attention when one of the stripes was like gone and the rest was still in my
Yikes.
phone. Eventually I dug the auxiliary cord into the phone and managed to like stick it so the whole thing pulled out again.
Oh my.
Yeah,
That sounds awful.
that sucked.
Wow. Okay, well, there you go. They want to know if you got it out or did you have to trash the phone?
No, I dug
She-
it in and
Okay.
managed to stick it out.
Yeah, you did say that. I zoned out. Sorry. Reese was today years old when he learned that the state of California has a bigger population than all of Canada. Did you know Florida's almost that big? Florida's almost as big as Canada. Almost there.
No, stop. You guys need to calm down.
Okay, how about this one? Did you know that Canada is the second largest country in the world? Second to Russia?
But I better can't fit in Africa.
Yes, we've got something.
Foreshadowing.
You guys will see what we mean.
Yes. So Canada has the second most amount of square area. It has the second largest area of any country, but then it also only has 30 million people.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of space for everyone.
It has a tenth of the population of the United States. Most of it's a frozen wasteland. That's why.
Is that the banished Americans?
Yes, basically. It's essentially right. Correct.
You guys banished a lot.
Yeah,
of
we
people.
just created a northern border there. Like, you're a hat. Enjoy it. Just apologize a lot for what you did. You know what you did. Just say sorry.
Mind the moose.
Mind the moose. I was today years old when I learned that koala bear fingerprints are almost indistinguishable from human fingerprints, and a forensic scientist once suggested that koala bears, while unlikely to be at the scene of the crime, if you find fingerprints, the possibility that those are koalas is not zero.
That disturbs me.
It is possible that some koalas have committed crimes.
And we wouldn't know.
Like ransacking a place, not like straight up murdering a few people.
I say we need to round up all the koalas and fingerprint all of them.
Don't worry, they all lost their lives in Australia bushfires.
That's true. Now there's less to round up.
Yes, correct. Made our jobs easier.
We can make it. We
Wow.
can do it.
People love koalas. How could you be so insensitive about them, Reese?
I love koalas too.
Okay.
Their meat is delicious.
I appreciate that.
Is that a reference?
No,
Okay.
just koalas are really stupid animals.
Volandis. Wait, did we already talk about Volandises? I think those are new. New
Pretty
bits
sure
from
that-
Volandis. Thank you
Hey.
so much for the bits. Reese was today years old when he learned that it's someone's job to animate boob physics for 3D children's movies.
It's a disturbing fact.
Do you want to give us more details about
No,
that? Okay.
absolutely
How did
zero.
you learn this one, Neckbeard?
I immediately thought of The Incredibles.
Somebody had to animate Mrs. Incredible's butt. And they either had a lot of fun or they hated their job.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna go one of two ways.
There's nobody who's just like, yep, animating a butt today. My job.
Like people will probably get like special designations for all these things to make sure.
You're really
that-
good at breast physics.
I hate this.
I mean, I'm sure that's a talent.
I'm sure it is, because it's.
They're definitely not the people who made the Dead or Alive games. I can tell you that.
I mean, they have at least expert experience in it.
No, they don't.
Even if it's not expertise in what most people want, there's experience there. I was today years old when I learned that the first words spoken in a film, so the first talkie, were, wait a minute, you ain't heard nothing yet, in the 1927 film The Jazz Singer.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting phrase to be the first
Yeah,
one.
it's very appropriate. Very appropriate.
I like that. I like that.
Did you guys see the guy that found the Zelda wireframe for Smash and he has a massive booty? Nope.
I did not see
I
that.
don't peruse those websites.
That sounds really weird. Good for
Us.
you.
What about extreme beach volleyball?
We don't speak about that, my friends.
Okay. Reese was today years old when he realized that Marvin the Martian was the referee in the Space Jam movie because he is both a Looney Tune and an alien.
Therefore, impartial to the match.
That blew my mind when I read that.
This is very relevant for me because that's what I fell asleep watching last night. Space Jam.
Okay.
I found out it's on American Netflix.
I
and
will
was
be
just
mad if coronavirus delays Space Jam 2 with LeBron James.
Like, LeBron James.
I'll be mad. We need Space Jam 2.
There's a Space Jam too.
Supposedly LeBron James has been working on a Space Jam 2, at least from the rumors that I have heard.
Mm-hmm.
I was today years old when I learned that about 85% of hospitals still use pagers because hospitals can be dead zones for cell service. I knew that part, but in some hospital areas, the walls are built to keep x-rays from penetrating, but those heavy-duty designs also make it hard for a cell phone signal, but not pagers. And then I also learned that pagers work on radio frequency, which is why they can penetrate the
I was
shielding.
literally about to ask, what do pages work on then?
Yeah, no, I had to, I heard the fact, and I was like, then what makes them different? How are they're not on a cellular signal? Nope, they use radio frequency, a very specific radio frequency tuned to each pager.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's basically the same concept of an FM stereo, but instead of having everybody tune into that, it's only the pager who can turn into that.
Hectic.
Yeah, hospitals have terrible cell and Wi-Fi service, but that's because, they have to be shielded from all of the crazy radiation and things that's going on.
Pagers didn't really make their way to South Africa, but as far as I know, they still do use them in quite a few of the hospitals.
It makes sense because, urgent situations
Yeah,
where you need to have desperate contact, you need to be contactable 24/7 no matter what you're doing, then a pager would make that work. It's pretty cool. Bad Shadow says, I learned zippers on jeans have a tiny lock that engages when the flap is up or completely down. Really?
Yes, it's got a little thing there that just...
What?
Yeah.
What?
So you can't pull your fly down if it's locked in position. Or if you open the zip lock.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yeah, most people don't. I found that one out, I think only 2 years ago, and I was like, this is a lie.
This blew my mind.
I hate it.
So another interesting fact about YKK, the zipper manufacturer basically makes all of them. They are completely vertically integrated. They make everything about YKK. They make I think it's brass that they use.
Yeah.
They smelt it themselves. And they even make all of the shipping boxes that everything goes in. Vertically integrated. A completely vertically integrated company.
Dang.
They have a lockdown on the zipper
Going
industry.
hardcore.
Everybody likes to talk about Apple being vertically integrated, but this is to another level. They are the people who make zippers and everything about zippers. Fun fact. I
Good
didn't
job.
include that one. Reese was today years old when he learned that in 1916 there was a proposed amendment to the US Constitution that would put all acts of war to a national vote, and anyone voting yes would have to register as a volunteer for service in the United States Army. I can see why that didn't pass.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're thinking about normal people. I'm thinking about the fact that we should allow all citizens to vote, and some citizens aren't physically able to fight. So, I agree with the Democratic vote. I disagree with the fact that they would have to fight.
Yeah, you can't send some people to fight.
Yes,
That's
even
what
if they agree with the principle of war, they may be physically unwell.
Yeah.
So, I'm just thinking about my son. My son could never go to war, but does that mean he shouldn't be ever able to vote? No. 200 bits from Volandis.
Stay down there.
Keep up the good work, guys. Love your YouTube channel and your streams. Thank you so much, Volandis.
Means a lot.
But I understand the implications of that, of you would want to make sure that people are understanding the consequences and they understand that there is a personal price to pay for war and that they're not just randomly doing it. I don't know if a popular vote would be better than Congress voting for it.
I don't know. I just
Weird.
thought it was interesting.
If you want to send troops off to die, you need to be marching with them. I understand that concept, but then there's people who could definitely support the idea of national sovereignty and making sure that your nation is fine. Let's say, weird scenario, right? England invades America again. They're round 2. Actually, round 3, because we lost the War of 1812 as well. So round 3, England invades America. We need to put it to a national vote as to whether or not we're going to war, right? Somebody who's in a wheelchair would want to vote yes, right? But the rule then says they have to go to war. So are they not allowed to vote for the fact that they're going to war when they're literally under attack and they want their nation state protected?
I mean, you could kit out a wheelchair.
Catlin! No!
Freaking tank wheels.
Those unhealthy enough to fight can help in other ways. Not all people can.
What if the queen
Because-
voted yes, and then they sent her to the front lines?
Oh my gosh. So like there.
She's immortal. She would win the war.
Okay, let's take this to the absolute extreme because this is where you would have to apply a law, right? Let's say a quadriplegic who is paralyzed from the neck down can only use their head. They still have the right to vote, right? Or are we going to start taking away people's rights to vote?
And then that becomes an even deeper rabbit hole.
There you go. Interesting new idea. Rocket chairs. I doubt that's a new idea.
I've seen YouTube videos where it's been tried and failed.
I'm sure there are people in wheelchairs who are like, oh, gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. Ah.
Strap a minigun to the wheelchair. Wow, okay. Wow. You guys. Let's move on to another one.
Yes, please.
Jeez. So, one of the fun facts, I was today years old learning, that during an economic depression, people are less likely to die from environmental factors, such as air pollution, cancer, all that kind of stuff, because the economy is depressed and they're not actually, and we're seeing this right now. So this
In
was a
Italy
study that was done.
especially.
Like people in the Great Depression had better air quality because the factories weren't working as hard.
Yeah?
Yeah, right. So there's that, but then like we're seeing in Venice, there's dolphins in the Venetian canals,
The dolphin.
right? So like nature's good, but the amount of suicides rises dramatically. So it's a trade-off. Do you want better nature or do you want a will to live?
Yeah.
Because regardless of what people say, work is essential to the human condition.
That's what we do.
Anyways, there's that.
I'm just picturing the dolphin.
Oh, the deer.
Yes.
Is that a dolphin? There are too many people on this lump of dirt anyways. Wow. I could go down so many conspiracy rabbit holes about that.
We need a new plague.
Population control.
Oh, I saw some discussions about that in the
Oh,
chat
there's
earlier.
plenty. There's plenty of good conspiracy theories about population control or depopulating the earth and getting it down to about 500 million people.
Bill Gates started this virus.
Okay, well, let's move on. Reese was today years old when he learned that Romans were known to create tombs for their dogs and gave them epitaphs to remember them by. One of them read, "I'm in tears while carrying you to your last resting place, as much as I enjoyed when bringing you home with my own hands 15 years ago."
It made me sad, so I put it in. I love dogs.
Why does that bother you, Catelyn?
Because why you gotta make us sad?
Like,
If I have to be sad, you have to be sad.
Okay.
This is a democracy.
Yeah, I'm all for communism, but sometimes.
Dogs are the best people. Yes.
So, also relating to the coronavirus, this is going to be our last. I was today years old when I learned that the beak in the masks of plague doctors was there. It was filled with sweet-smelling substances like lavender because it helped to aid the smell of rot and dying flesh,
Yeah.
and so they didn't have to smell so bad.
Deal with that.
And they believed that the good smell would keep them safe from the plague because they thought it was an airborne transmitted virus, or airborne transmitted disease, even though they didn't have the science to back it up.
Good try, but that's not how this works.
It was kind of how it works. It was transmitted by the air, but like breathing in good
Yes.
sense doesn't fix it.
Yes.
They had the right idea, bad execution, can't blame them because of the science, and it looks hella lit.
I mean, that's how I want to go
Here,
into the
let me-
apocalypse with a plague doctor mask.
1 second, Catelyn.
This
I'm
is
not
part
ready
of my apocalypse outfit, and none of you are allowed to steal it.
yet. In case anybody doesn't know what a plague doctor looks like, Catelyn, you can pull it up now. That's a plague doctor mask. So this beak had aromas in there, like lavender, to keep you. And this
I
was,
think that brownish one is a bit more accurate.
yeah, of course. This
That
is
one
a
is
party
hella
mask.
steampunk, though.
Yeah.
You can buy it. Oh no, it's a Halloween mask. $15.50. There you go. That won't protect you against the coronavirus, but it won't hurt to try. Although
Too
maybe
late.
it could. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Too late, I have a leather one custom made.
Nice. I was
Stealing
today
my
years
idea.
old when I found out that if you're not there, you're square because you are not a round.
Oh.
I want to smash my mug.
That one is a dad joke built right into it.
I work at a Renaissance fair. I claim the plague doctor mask.
I will fight you for it. I will fight all of you for this.
I mean, you guys should go grocery shopping with your plague masks, and maybe people will start taking it seriously.
Yes.
Or they'll attack us.
We saw one at that Halloween store.
We did. We should have gotten it. We got it before the coronavirus was actually like impacting our
Now
daily
it's going to be
lives.
sold out.
Right? Or they're shut down because all non-essential retail is not allowed to be happening right now. Party City is not essential retail. GameStop is, though, I'll tell you. Get Reese a GIMP mask and call it good. No, friends.
No.
Rude. It's rude.
I'll
I'm still waiting on my mug. Tell Teespring to hurry up. I think we're going to be looking into a new merch distributor just because Teespring's, one, distribution takes forever, and two, their customer service is a joke.
sadly.
So, yeah, we're going to be looking into a new merch distributor. So, yeah. Do we have anything else for Friday Variety?
Have more words.
More words. We're not going to go through more words. We're gonna stay around for the next 4 minutes and end at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you guys have any questions, be sure to send them in now. Thank you everybody who's been watching us so far. We really appreciate it. All of the follows on Twitch that we got, you guys made it lit.
Crazy today.
Yeah, it was super fast. Thank you everybody for your Twitch subscriptions. Thank you everybody for your donations. They've meant a lot. Now it's Q&A time. Fun fact: clicking lock button fast on an iPhone will disable the thumbprint reader if you want to keep people out. I don't have a thumbprint reader.
I was
Face
wondering
ID.
if you do that, can you do it somehow with the face unlock?
So if you hold it down to shut off, right?
Yeah.
Then if you try to boot it back in, you need to do your passcode.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that way you can keep it from like police holding your face there while they're trying to unlock it
Look at your phone.
in a post-dystopian apocalyptic world.
Yes.
Maybe ask Linus about his providers. Linus builds all of it in-house, and they actually source the shirts, which is not a level that we're ready to be at right now.
Linus is a team of how many people at this
Yeah,
point,
so they've like gone to the factories of the places actually producing the clothes, and we're nowhere near that right now. So Linus would not be a good discussion point, unfortunately. Rip, I pretty much missed the entire stream because I was busy. Feels bad, man. No, man, it's cool.
As long as you're here now.
Being busy keeps your mind off of coronavirus, which we all need in these days and ages.
Mm-hmm.
Don't buy masks, save them for the sick and healthcare workers. I understand that. That's a good thing, yes. But at the same time, that went along with the narrative of masks don't work, and that was messed up. Masks do work. Masks are working in the societies that actively use masks. The fact that they were telling us don't use masks because they don't work was the bullcrap.
Yeah.
Don't buy them now because they need to be reserved for everybody else. Yes. But then you have to ask the question, why does me buying retail affect distribution on the back end?
Which is weird.
Yeah, that's the weird question of like what got screwed up there that I'm now being held responsible for a distribution issue. Like, why are they distributing it to Lowe's where I could go buy an N95 mask instead of to the hospitals? It
Which
should just be out of stock.
prioritized first.
Yeah, it's weird.
I know that one.
You're absolutely right. We need to protect the healthcare workers. I'm all for them getting supplies first. But me buying retail, am I really, like, if I'm pulling one off the shelf and some lady next to me is pulling one off the shelf, how am I supposed to know she's a hospital worker?
Since when are nurses and hospital workers buying their own masks?
Since now, because they're all out of stock on the back end.
Since now, but
Yeah.
like,
Which, the whole thing is the hospital's supply chain should have been prioritized.
Yeah, it's all screwed. So I wouldn't blame retailer or retail shoppers for buying it from retail. I would blame them for buying it like through a distributor and buying a bulk case, sure. But if I pick up a few masks from Lowe's, is it really my fault? Is it?
It's one of them questions.
Is it? Is it really? Angablade donated $5. Woo! He says milk.
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 He needs some milk.
The worldwide shortage is so acute that they're buying them at retail. Yeah, I understand. But at the same time, like, you can't fault the everyday American for thinking that buying retail really doesn't matter. Because we are in unprecedented times where it's like, oh, they are buying retail. Fun fact, when I used to work at a restaurant, Jason's Deli, when we would run out of our like actual pasta and mac and cheese, our managers would go to Publix and buy stuff off the shelf because they didn't prioritize the distribution well enough to get it for our store.
Dang.
Retail wouldn't have it then. It would be sent to places that need it. That's not true. That's actually, so there's contracts in place even in a pandemic that wouldn't be violated and then would make it so that they go to retail shelves. Like, obviously you would hope that it's not that way, but it does happen that way. It's all screwed. Everything's messed up right now. We're living in a society.
But that's why that whole act got approved, so that companies can ramp up production of medical equipment like masks and stuff like that.
The butthead side of me wants to go to the hospitals, go offer the hospitals the few masks I have in the trailer for the same price they charge me at the hospital. You know, it's not the hospital's fault that they charge you the price that they charge you, right? It's the insurance industry's fault.
Mm-hmm.
It all has to do with the coding and billing system of the American insurance industry and not the actual hospitals. Obviously, yes, having private hospitals has exacerbated some of the profit-seeking aspects of the healthcare system, but for the most part, the insane prices that you see at a hospital have more to do with billing than it does with billing insurances than it does to have to do with like the actual price they would charge you if you just came in and said, hey, I want to pay everything cash.
Pretty much.
The summer heat will pause the virus until like September, but it might come back. There is zero evidence for that. It is spreading like crazy in Iran, and it's spreading like crazy in South Africa now, which it's already...
Middle of summer.
Yeah, it's summer in South Africa, so that, like, it's, 40 degrees? Some days during the summer. They don't have air conditioning, so it's actually hot there. It's also spreading in Australia. There's zero evidence to suggest the fact that it would go down with higher temperatures. That's based on the flu. That's not based on the coronavirus. It's a presumption of no evidence. And what I read and was in like when doing research for, I was today years old when I learned, one of the theories for the flu going down in warmer seasons has nothing to do with the temperature, but has everything to do with vitamin D deficiency with people not going outside during winter months.
Dang, okay.
Yeah. And so the flu is more actively fought when you don't have a vitamin D deficiency, but it's not apparent that that's happening with the current situation.
People saying it's spreading in Australia too.
Yes. Like, here, let's, give me a second, Kathleen.
Well, technically, they just went out of summer.
It's
right
still
now.
freaking hot there.
It is.
Here, Pretoria weather. You can switch over now, Kat. Pretoria weather. It's 23 degrees C. Okay, it's not super hot. Let's go to Australia, right? That's Sydney weather. Okay, it's kind of cool. Now, but it's freaking hot in Florida.
Yeah.
It's currently 90 degrees today. And
It's
we're seeing the spread literally everywhere in all seasons.
But remember, it's also like nighttime there right now, so it is cooling down right now.
Regardless, it's spreading in the southern hemisphere and it's spreading in the northern hemisphere. There's temperature variation between all of them. It's in all 50 states. It's in all major continents. Like, there's no indication that heat is changing any of this. So, yeah, it's literally everywhere.
Heavy.
Sydney or South Africa is about to blow up.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. 202 cases.
Already.
Yep.
That's gonna go up fast.
It already had. Like, you guys only had 6 cases when the president made his announcement on Sunday.
A week. Not even.
Not even a week, 5 days. And you've gone from 6 to 202. And that's confirmed cases of people who have been traveling because they're not testing people who haven't traveled yet.
It's crazy.
His point was the prices are what they are because of the insurance billing. VC gesture, it would probably hurt the relationship with those companies if they did cheaper prices for people who pay cash, so they have pretty much no choice. No, they do that. They do that. If you call any hospital billing area and you tell them that you're paying cash, they will give you a different price than what they billed you for.
Really?
Yeah. It's like one of those most suggested financial life hacks. Call your, like, talk to your doctor and ask them what the cash price is for a visit, and then go to another doctor with insurance, and you'll see they're vastly different prices. Like, our doctor, I think, that we take our son to is $160 for every visit. He bills the insurance for $600. So it looks like it's $600 a visit, but when we didn't have insurance and we still went to see him, it was $160, which is expensive still, but he's also a world-class neurologist. So like, you know, I'm paying for the fact that he's amazing. So there is that. It's 32 degrees in Durban with high humidity. Corona doesn't die because of heat, straight up.
Durban was one of the first places it spread.
Why doesn't Jester get a cash discount? It's probably the area that he's in. I'm saying the majority of places. I'm not reading all of Jester's stuff, but I know that I've negotiated cash pricing on stuff before. I pooped.
Congratulations.
That's amazing. I just paid $750 cash for a blood sugar test, a cholesterol test, and an hour of their time. You paid for an hour of their time as far as like the test? Because there's still the back end test of them actually testing it. There's the infrastructure cost of them being able to test those things. Those things cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to actually even be able to run those tests. Like having a medical facility isn't cheap. Medical grade equipment is crazy expensive. Like our son needs regular fluids, and we considered like getting an IV drip at home. And even the stand for the medical bags was thousands of dollars.
Yep.
We're not talking about the actual medical grade equipment to be able to do it ourselves. Is there some lockdown or similar in your region? There's like some practices that are going on, like bars and nightclubs are all shut down. That's like a lockdown. We're not forced to stay in our homes right now, but they are suggesting non-essential movement doesn't happen. And all of the parks are closed. Like, did you see the park by us?
Park,
Yeah.
Shh.
it was closed.
Yes. What's your favorite conspiracy theory that you're allowed to talk about, Brett? I'm allowed to talk about all of them. I think, it's my favorite one. My favorite one was Flat Earth until it became so mainstream. No, like seriously, back in 2015 when Mark Sargent was releasing his Flat Earth clues, I was there watching them as they released. I like conspiracy theories. I'm not a flat earther by any means. I absolutely math is related to science, right? So I'm there with that. I just like the idea of conspiracy theories. My favorite one. I like 9/11 conspiracy theories. They're all interesting. I'm enjoying the current coronavirus conspiracy theories, to be quite honest.
I like the deep dives into the simulation theory.
That one's tough just because, like, where's the proof, right? Where's the proof for that one? It's not based on facts. I like conspiracy theories that are based on facts with wild assumptions. Because that's how conspiracy theories and fake news and all of that stuff happens, is that people take what is apparent evidence, they see it from one perspective, and they say, hey, this is a hot news mug, right? Whereas I'm looking at it and I'm saying this is a UFD tech mug, right?
Amazing.
They're not considering the other perspective. So if you look at it and you say this is a hot news mug, well, this is guaranteed only hot news. You're not allowed to use this for any other activities with UFD Tech because it's hot news. So you take facts that happen and then you modify them to fit your narrative that you're trying to think of or that your brain won't let you figure out somewhere else. And it's just fun to see the leaps of logic that people go to in order to get the conclusions that they go to. Like with 9/11, right? There's some weird stuff that happened. The fact that the military was doing like training exercises that caused the fact that fighter jets weren't able to scramble fast enough to intercept the planes that were out there, that's a fact that exists. Now, does that mean that George Bush did 9/11? No. And you can take all of the evidence, and at the end of the day, to get to the conclusions that conspiracy theories come to, you still have to make a leap of faith. None of them are 100% solid for you to get the actual answers. You're always making assumptions, and you can say, well, I can't have the actual answers because they're hiding the information from me. Yes, sure, you can say that, but that still means you can't be 100% confident with your actual final conclusion of conspiracy theories.
Black Knight satellite conspiracy. That was a favorite one of mine.
Isn't that the one that like came down and looked like it was a Black Knight? And that's why they call it the Black Knight?
Yeah, like there's pictures of it.
Yeah.
And
I watched one video about why the Earth is not flat, and the next time I refreshed my YouTube page, I had like 6 flat Earth videos recommended to me. I had to mark it as not interested. YouTube has dealt with that. So that used to be a huge problem back in the day, as far as like people watching anti-conspiracy, and that just built up the base even more. From what I can gather, I can only find conspiracy theory videos right now if I go out and search for them.
Yeah, they're not pushing them into your face the whole time.
Yeah, I'm subscribed to several conspiracy theory channels, and like they're not removing them from my sub feed, but like I'm not getting their videos recommended anymore either.
They had to clamp down a little because that's all YouTube was at one stage. Conspiracy theories.
It was a month ago. That's weird. Because I watch a lot of conspiracy theory videos and they don't appear in my recommended feed. Paul is dead. Paul McCartney. I don't like that one because I just don't care about the Beatles at all.
I don't subscribe to that one either. Just because it's weird and like I don't feel any basis behind that is really other than like, oh, that guy's kind of different. Maybe. Perhaps.
That's the difference between science and conspiracy. If the observable facts don't fit your theory, get a new theory. If conspiracies, if the observable facts don't match the theory, throw out the facts. That's not necessarily true of science either. Because I distinctly, like, the issue with, like, scientific review and scientific literature and peer-reviewed stuff is that there is still a lot of confirmation bias going on in science because humans are creatures of confirmation bias.
And then they get called out for it years later and have to retract the papers, and it's just a big giant mess.
Yes. Does science typically usually... Vashan! Woo!
Dollar!
What up? What's up, Vashan? How you doing, my friend? How's life? That is my best friend from high school.
Oh, hello.
Yes.
Is that why the high five was so hard?
Yes.
Oh, my hand.
Get good. I can't. I'm glad you're here, though.
What's up?
You came in at an interesting time of talking about conspiracy theories. So the issue with science is that it's done by people, right? And people are flawed. And like we see this throughout history. Scientists oppose what is now an accepted fact way back when because they were scientists who were people, and people oppose things. Hey bud, keep going. Just passing through. Will do. Thanks for passing.
I love it.
When's Mother's Day in the US? It's some Sunday in May. I don't know. My mom's dead. You think I know? Come on. There's a bias in science, but in the end it works out. Usually. But
Hopefully.
Like, you only find that out after the fact. What are the things that we're still stuck in science that we don't know what our biases are on them? Because you only know that we've overcome a bias by overcoming the bias.
What? The Earth is not the center of the universe?
That's the most obvious one, but
Yeah.
there's plenty of others that I'm sure that we have really non-evidence-based assumptions on. Yeah, that isn't very good. I thought Americans were grown artificially by now. What do you think high fructose corn syrup is? Of course we're grown artificially. Everything in our body is artificial.
It's weird. I'm used to normal sugar. This high fructose corn syrup thing.
Yes.
It makes everything taste different here.
The Eternal Dreamer says there are unknown unknowns. That is correct. As you expand your sphere of knowledge, the circumference of what is unknown becomes larger. So what you don't know always rises at a rate faster than what you do.
Dang.
Facts!
Today I learned.
If he had hair, it might look like the Ancient Aliens guy. I don't know about that.
Aliens.
Aliens. I don't like typical alien conspiracy theories. It's not my thing. It's not mine. Do you think Hitler escaped to Argentina? I don't know, dude. I like the theories. I like Nazi bases on Antarctica theories. Those are exciting for me. Whether or not they're actually true, probably not. But, you know, I'd like to read and watch a lot. And it's fun.
I mean, it's fun to see what people think and how their minds work.
Yeah, and it's very clear that, like, Germans and Nazis fled to Argentina.
Yeah.
There is direct evidence of this. Whether Hitler did, I don't know. They went to the dark side of the moon. They even made a crappy movie about that. What, Transformers? Remember? One of the Transformers movies, they like turned off all the communication, went to the dark side of the moon, found freaking Transformer on the moon. Right? I
That's
actually
what they
think the moon is just a collection of beasts that will get beamed down to Earth.
Interesting. What about the cheese theory?
Cheese is a kind of meat. So beasts are made of meat, same thing.
No.
A family friend is a retired Army colonel. He's basically confirmed that alien tech is studied at Area 51. Yeah, so many people have confirmed so many different conspiracy theories. What are you going to do?
That's one of those things, yeah. We missed
Cheese is
anything.
just a loaf of milk.
Ew. I don't like that.
And on that note, we're going to end. Catelyn, can you run the outro? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.
You gotta dance out.
Hold on.
We got it.